That's right, turn that shit up, man.
NFL Network.
Hey, this is David Kaplan.
Be at 20 for the Bears.
Exactly, Greg.
Oh my God! This is crazy. I am in heaven! What?
If the dude's a fucking pussy.
Concept-wise, his run game doesn't match with his pass game.
This is Matt Waldman.
This is Olin Cruz.
This is Paige DeMacco, CEO of the Draft Network.
Rasheed Davis, former Chicago Bears wide receiver.
Hey, my name is Rashad Whitfield, the footwork king.
What's up, everybody? It's Ryan Nall here with the Chicago Bears.
You're keeping it 100 with Shayne and Phil.
Keeping it 100 with Phil and Shayne.
You're listening to my guys Shayne and Phil on
Keeping It 100.
The following show is for mature audiences only. Chi-City Sports.
Watch the tape, and when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie, and the tape doesn't lie.
Tariq Cohen, I'm with Shayne. He was a Matt Nagy favorite, building offenses around somebody that doesn't kind of quantify it, and then have a guy that quantifies it and completely ignore him, and that's David Montgomery. This is the kind of atmosphere we lived in with the Chicago Bears, and hopefully they get to the point where they do something like that'll be the first step in showing me, hey, we're all about having a culture that puts team and winning first. I don't see that happening with the Chicago Bears under Matt Nagy. Now, Matt Eberflus, he is saying all the right things. Yeah, as I said, you can sit there like this, and that's fine. That is totally fine. You could just put your arms up and say, show me, Eberflus, show me. That's good. Do what you got to do there. Go ahead. I'm not asking you to get out your pom-poms and believe in what this staff is. But Tariq Cohen saying that a year and a half removed?
Yeah, he did have a second surgery. They've never come out and said for sure, but I mean, he 100% did. You can, if you read through the tea leaves, he did.
I will never make any move with Mac. That's it. Because quarterback, pass rusher. That's the order.
The thing about
That's
it is,
and then you go to offensive tackle.
Pass rushers age well in this league, believe it or not.
Look at Von Miller.
Well. Yeah.
Von Miller.
They do.
Don't get me started. Like, I'm about football first. Fuck the money. Fuck all that cap bullshit. I can manipulate a cap just like every fucking team in the NFL can manipulate. You'll always manipulate it. What you can't do is sit there and tell me someone in the draft is as good as Khalil Mack now with this first round pick. Tell me, who is it? Who is it? The kid Hutchinson from Michigan or Khalil Mack? Which one are you going to fucking take? Seriously, ask yourself that. So if you're projecting 3 years down the road, Khalil Mack can age 3 years and lead the NFL in sacks. This is the stuff that you've got. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. I'm keeping it real. If you're going to win football games, you're going to force them into third down. And by the way, that's when the money down is, and that's where Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack become the elite. So now all these fucking Kyle Brandts of the fucking world talking shit about Eberflus and this hire and that hire, because all these fucking guys are just names right now. That's it. They're just names for people. What I know is the tape of the players. So the system, the philosophy, the foundation, everything I'm hearing, we're going to get into it with our guest, but everything I'm hearing is the right fit, the right solution for the talent on this football team. And are you going to trade Walter Payton out of your offense if you're running the eye? Like, shut up. Like, seriously. Give Kyle Brandt. I'll trade Kyle Brandt for a first-round pick to get his ass out off the NFL Network. Khalil Mack is going to shut so many people up. It's that fan. I didn't see who it is, and it's no offense. It's just imagine putting all the work, time, and energy and effort into showing it. We had a show this past weekend, X's with the O's. We just looked at Mac this past year while he's hurt, doing elite, freakish things that go unnoticed by Blog Boy Johnny, Blog Boy Jeff, Blog Boy Andy, Blog Boy, and all of these guys I don't know how this has happened, but they've become the fucking monsters of strength on Twitter and the social media football world. Instead of listening to real football people or people that have played the game, we're going to listen to a fucking guy that's came up with an equation to come up with a reason which actually goes against and defies what it is you see on tape.
There is a spot for that in football. I get the analytics aspect of it, but it's not all analytics. It's not that at all. If you know anything about football and you watch the Chicago Bears and tell me that David Montgomery makes this offense worse, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. End of story. It's that simple.
That is like me going into fucking
his fucking editor or whatever the fuck you want to call him even was embarrassed by it. But he's like, what? Oh my God, with the fucking drops. Jesus. Every other fucking word out of my mouth, there's a drop.
That was me. That what? His editor, what?
Sorry. Yeah, but he's just out there saying, hey, sometimes you have to let your people, even though you don't agree with it. Well, right there, you're fucking saying.
I went on a tirade about that guy for allowing that to be put into presentation for an audience. That is a fault of you. So if you have an agenda, like you want to be some click magnet and you want to create this narrative that David Montgomery makes your offensive worse, then you've done a disservice to not only yourself, because you look like a fucking total moron, but you've done a disservice to a fan base that might follow and think what you're trying to prove is correct, that you've created an algorithm to prove this, which is maniacal pussy bullshit, to be perfectly honest. I'm sorry. Watch the freaking tape and see a guy that's running through a subway station at 5 o'clock trying to get home. That's what David Montgomery's had to deal with for the last 2 years. It's not just the players blocking, it's the coach who's calling the plays. It's the scheme and the philosophy. David overcame all of that. So when you know what you're looking at, you come away and say, wow, what this guy is being able to do is something outstanding.
No, it obviously didn't work out, and you're right. That's another key difference, right? That's another key difference between Eberflus and Nagy. He's got all these guys.
Yes.
Now we'll see what Getsy also. I mean, another big unknown. It's a lot of unknowns. That's why I'm saying, like, it's okay to be optimistic, but it's also totally reasonable to be skeptical, because Luke Getsy kind of a question mark as well, and we will see what his offense is all about. Because you have was it Matt LaFleur? Was it Nathaniel Hackett? Was it Getsy? Or was it just Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers? What were the reasons why XYZ drive or XYZ play worked out?
That is going to wrap up today's edition of The Rush. We went a little longer today. Shout out to our guy, Bearlissimo, watching
from London, England. My guy. He's a great follow on Twitter. Follow him at Bearlissimo. And he's also on the Tape Never Lies Network. By the way, TTNL, the Tape Never Lies Network, Phil Atochian, Shayne Marsaw. It's a great, great follow. I'm going to be on their fine show.
The tape never lies. Tape never lies.
The tape never lies. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Chicago's trading up. 100.
Yes!
What? Here it is! Just reported.
Just an open competition.
Keeping it 100. The people drop off, but still keep rocking.
I know we need to run the ball more. I'm not an idiot.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Open competition. Keeping it 100. The smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. The dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east or west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now they're moused up like the true and now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a Barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. 100's what we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unfair. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Max Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Draft Dr. Phil.
Keeping it 100.
Money Man Marsaw. And the guard. Draft Claudio.
Yo, this is Claudio the Barber, and this is Shine City Sports. Keeping it 100. The best Bears podcast on the planet, bar none. So, of course, we got another great show for you tonight. We got Mikey Beardown Cuz and former Bears fullback Jason McKie coming on. So let's bring on the boys, the hip and the hop, smartest man Marsaw, and Philatoshian. Is it a Toshian or Toshian? Tachin.
What up?
Yo, this is Claudio the Barber.
That's the trademark,
Top of
bro.
your fucking class.
Yeah, he was the top of his fucking.
That might have been his best. Yo, yeah.
Yeah, was it?
Why is it?
Well,
not
hey, I've been
fitting
practicing,
in
man. I had a week
You ever
off
seen
to
this
practice.
happen?
I think it's because of the comment. Take the
What?
comment down. It's pushing it up because of the comment.
Comment moving? We gotta
Yeah,
take
there's-
that option off.
Yeah.
Someone take care of this. StreamYard be fucking around behind our back, Shane.
They do.
It's like a bad date in college.
They take
going
all
on.
of our fucking offensive tape work off our Patreon and they put shit up.
they're always taking shit from us.
Crying a lot, I can't find the hole.
That's what we said over here. We couldn't find the hole. Shane, it feels like it's been forever since we've been on. We got a big show, a jam-packed show. So there'll probably be no dumbest tweets of the week. That streak continues. Shayne becoming the new Jackal ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
He's skipping out. You're skipping
Jackal
out like
gave me
Claudio.
the case of the Jackal, so I got he did some shit. I got
Cherie fixed it. She came to the rescue.
Yeah, Cherie.
She needs some FaceTime. Someone wants to see her.
Oh, there
face.
she is.
There she is. Somebody
There's
wants
that
to see
hot
her.
girl, Cherie.
You're on the air, baby.
And
Cherie, there she is. She's ready for her Manscaped read tonight.
Oh, she is.
She's getting ready. The script is long. That's what she said. She did say that. So what is going on?
What the hell is going on?
Exactly. What is going on?
What's going on?
Bears sign a punter and a long snapper tonight, Shayne.
Yeah, fuck Pat O'Donnell. I'm ready for that era to come to a close in Chicago. That under Ryan Pace, he was getting, 1-year deals or maybe a 2-year extension and making more money every year. I could never figure that out because when you needed him to have a big punt was when he was at his worst. I could never understand bringing that guy back year after year after year.
Yeah, I don't. I'm totally step for step with you. At least bring in some competition there. You're handing over the job to this guy that, to be quite honest, I just don't get it. I don't get him. I don't get the whole situation with the Bears and the long snapping. Is that this? Well, I like the competition there.
Oh yeah, I do. I have no problem with Scales.
Yeah,
I think he's affordable, and I got to be honest, the Bears have had a pretty good run with Manley and Scales. I mean, Manley was a draft pick, I believe, in '98 out of Duke. They've had a pretty good run since then with him and Patrick Scales. Scales like 33, 34 years old. I have no problem with them bringing him back. I mean, that shit can ruin games.
Oh yeah.
So
a bad snap almost affected the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sure did.
The refs then stepped in the way. They helped out.
Yeah. Don't tell Yerk that, though.
Oh, God. Yurko, I think if he ever came and stepped on this show, we'd have some words to say about Devin Hester. And obviously, the officiating affecting the end of that Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody tries to tell me. I know I don't have a horse in the race. I was being transparent in cheering for the Bengals. I wanted to see them win. But obviously they fucking came out there, and that call against the linebacker Logan Wilson out of Wyoming, Shayne. I love that kid. I couldn't see it. You don't make that fucking call in that moment. I don't give a shit what anybody tries to go into an algorithm with John Wood in the blog. You cannot be in that moment allowing the whole game to play and be played the way it was. So if Rams fans or whatever are going to come to me and try to defend something that's indefensible. Don't fucking bring up the missed face mask push off. Fucking OBJ is pushing off every fucking play. It's going on. When it matters most, when the stage and the spotlight is on the play, that's when the official has to step up and become a man of power, not a fucking judge who's got a criminal's life in his hand. And that's really what happened there. And as a Bears fan and as an analyst of the game of football, as a coach, listen, there's no doubt I would get fucking thrown out of a game to send the message to the fucking refs. It's happened before. I'm not going to lose with someone giving me the backstab. Just not. And I thought I will stand forever remembering that play.
Yeah, it was you and I are step for step on that. I mean, it was a game changer. It dictated the outcome 100%.
Exactly.
In the biggest game of the season. So, yeah, I'm not sure what Yerk's reasoning for going against that and saying it was a clear, clearly the right call. Yeah, it's just he was fighting that fight on Twitter, telling everybody that they were wrong. But I'm like, if you watch that, I mean, he didn't even redirect the guy at all.
Right. Yerk is also the guy panning and kowtowing to Devin Hester not being a first ballot Hall of Fame or not a Hall of Famer, let alone a first ballot.
Yeah, he says he's not even the best return man in the NFL. That was his stance when we had him on.
When you change the position, you are a Hall of Famer.
It's not even changing the position. When the rules, that was my quote. When the rules are changed by a league that plays to have highlights on SportsCenter and Good Morning Football with Kyle Brandt, Kay Adams, and Peter Schrager, they fucking live for those big plays. They had to change the rule because the guy was so freakish in his ability. Not only as a kick returner, but a punt returner. I don't know what's going on tonight. Am I freezing over there?
You're not freezing.
I feel like I got Alex Brown's fucking internet over here because of fucking our next guest's coming up. I think he brought Alex Brown's over to my house. I guess I'm not free, but the thing is coming up on my screen, Shayne.
Yeah, you weren't freezing up. You're a little blurred, but
now I'm back.
You're back.
But anyway, Jackal's producing from his toilet again. Look at him. No, Phil, you're clear. You're good.
Thanks, Jackal.
Thank you, Jackal. Thank you, Jackal. Must have been at the top of his class too, Claudio. I bet you he was.
Must have been at the top of your fucking class.
That's right, Jackal. Listen, we got a big show tonight. Obviously, coming up, we got two guests. Beardown Cuz on Instagram. He's got a podcast show with Alex Brown. Seen him with Adam Rank. Rank actually introduced him to me, and a bunch of you fans reached out. We're like, got to get this family together. We're always about promoting good content, good people. As Shayne has said, there's plenty of room in the internet or on the internet for everybody that's doing well, right, Shayne?
That's right. It's a big place, man.
The internet's a big place. Speaking of big places, this was Adam Rank shouting us out to give you the tone.
And I want to say this as well for everybody who is here. I'm sure everybody is here because of your promotion, and they're here to see you. But if you're not following the Beardown Cuz, he's like family. We started these Q&As off with two bangers. I love Draft Dr. Phil. I don't know if you know Phil.
Khalil Mack is top 5 best football players in the National Football League. Top 10 to be safe.
We need to get you guys together if not. But my two go-tos all the time, if I want to catch up on the Bears, it's always the Tape Never Lies Network. Of course, it's always Beardown Cuz.
This is Mikey Beardown Cuz.
You can find on Instagram. He's killing it. He's getting close to 50,000 followers. We need to push him over that mark during the offseason, so please go follow him there.
That's Adam Rank of the Sick Pie. He sent me some swag, Shayne, for coming.
Nice.
Have a sick day. Got to shout out my boy Rank. The Rank tank is always flowing and rolling, just like the Bears. You got Poles, Eberflus. This guy, though, coming on the show. You guys asked for him. I'm just getting to know him. You never know. We could be fucking throwing punches tonight at the end of it. I don't know. I don't know Mikey. He must have. Angelo, you know him?
Then let me do what I had to do.
Angelo. Angelo don't know. But here he is. We do it in our way, Shayne. We always introduce our guests. We don't have the sunglasses on and just say, hey, this is our guest. We do it in the TTNL way from Instagram. Beardown, cuz.
This disgruntled Bears dad knows all too well the life of Bears fans everywhere. This team seemingly continues to kick us while we're down. But yet here we are, continuing to come back time and time again. In his spare time, this weekend handicapper and mint connoisseur is also the host of the brilliantly dumb show Beardown with former Bear Alex Brown. Bears fans, TTNL fans, give it up for TTNL first timer Mikey. Beardown, cuz.
There he is, Mikey.
It's quite the introduction. Jesus, production value you guys got. That was better than that's better. I seen Cats. I seen Les Mis. That was pretty close.
We're right there, man.
What's your favorite musical? Because Alex Shapiro was a big West Side Story fan.
West Side Story is a timeless classic. I saw Wicked. I got to tell you, Wicked is something else to see if you haven't seen it. Really something. That Zena Mandel or whatever her name is really hits those high notes.
So
good to be here. Good to be here.
Wicked. Sounds
Wicked.
like
Wicked.
Sounds like a play in Boston. Wicked.
No, never that. Never that. No Chowderhead support over here. Absolutely none of that over here. No.
So
no.
Mikey, you're a huge fan. You know, let everybody know. Usually people on the way out, everybody know where to find you. But obviously, where's your podcast and where could they find you to start the show?
So, the Instagram live show is every Wednesday night during the season, in season with Alex. It's every Wednesday night. Usually we run it at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, 8 p.m. Central. We are converting over to podcast format probably this season, only because we run into so many issues with the live. We like the live, though, because we like to bring people in. We might look into YouTube live, but yeah, at Beardown Cuz Instagram, at Beardown Cuz, YouTube, all the same format. Twitter at Beardown Cuz, it's all the same. But yeah, that's every Wednesday in season with Alex. And then the podcast I do on the side, another podcast show, the Brilliantly Dumb Show that you saw. I'm a co-host of that with a couple guys out in California. But that's not predominantly Bears related. So, I know a lot of people get their feelings hurt when I don't put up Bears stuff. So it happens. But, it's tough. It's tough to talk about this team 24 hours a day, bro. I only got so much time in this. We only have so much time in this life. And, it takes it's probably shaved off so many years already that, I'm not trying to shave that many more off because the clock has got to be ticking at this point.
How did the relationship with Alex Brown start?
So Alex, I did a phone interview with him about 4 years ago, I would say. And that was like one of the first player interviews that I did. If you guys have talked to him, very humble guy, very outgoing guy, really just a genuinely good dude. Not one of these guys who thinks that they're too good for everybody, which is refreshing. But then before the 2020 season, he reached out to me and he was like, I think if we did something on the regular on live, on Instagram live, I think it would be good because I think a lot of the fans want to interact and want to ask questions and want to do this, want to do that. So what do you think about that? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, you want to do something? I was like, absolutely, let's do it. And we started in the 2020 season. And then, this year it opened up a little bit more for us because Instagram started allowing you to bring in more than one person into the live, which was big for us because we were able to do the reunion show for the Cardinals game with Urlacher, and we brought in Olin Kreutz, and we had Spice on a couple times. So it worked out really well this year. The first season was good. This season, obviously, we took it to a new level. And then next year, hopefully, we could get it even bigger and better for next year, and that's what we'll keep doing. But no, just Alex's aces, man. Nothing but good things to say to Alex. And about Alex.
All right. Two things. Well, Alex, we got to get him on the show because I got to confront him. I just want clarity on his Khalil Mack stance because people are just throwing sound bites or quotes.
Yeah.
So you reach out to him for me, but I'm just giving you a suggestion that you move your show to like Thursday night or Tuesday night because I want people to actually watch your show. There's so many people here live. So
I hear you.
Where are you from, Paisan?
Jersey, cuz. Jersey.
There it is.
Yeah,
Jersey.
Now, and before you ask, the Bears ties come from my father. That's a passed down fanhood. So it's not like I just randomly picked a team. My father was a big Bears fan growing up. Gail Sayers guy, Dicka guy, Buckus guy. Dicka, obviously, when he was playing, not really, obviously before the coaching days. And that's how I inherited this. So thanks a lot, Dad.
So, yeah, none of us are from Chicago. We're all East Coast guys. We're all talking Bears
tonight. Look at this.
Yeah.
I'm in Connecticut. Shayne's in New York. You're in Jersey.
I was gonna say you guys are not
the tri-state.
You guys are not from Midwestern America.
No.
It doesn't seem to me. So.
Definitely,
especially Phil. Phil's got a slick ass mouth, but you know what? I like that. That don't bother me at all. So I'm totally comfortable. As soon as I was in the lobby waiting to get in, and I heard him talking, I was like, oh, this is gonna work out perfectly.
That's what we're based on, man.
That's perfect.
I told you a little bit last night. We're all about busting balls and
that's
chopping
perfect.
it up. And hey, when your product is that bad on the field, that you got to be able to bust balls.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I became a Bears fan. I had a lot of people, new patrons and fans, asking how Shayne and I became. So to piggyback off of you, my father is a football coach, Hall of Fame football coach here in Connecticut. I was a coach and player, yada yada yada. I went to Hofstra.
Okay.
Wayne Corbett from Jersey was my suite mate and teammate. But anyway, my father asked me to pick a player because he wanted, what position did I want to play? And I said running back. And then he put on this VHS tape. The millennials like Caden Winslow, our new punter. Oh, that's Ryan Winslow. Caden's our producer. My father put it in
Whitlow, by the way. That's three
Carl Winslow.
Is Carl to the top of your fucking class.
Much. I love that so much. When I saw you play that clip in the lobby, I was like, "Oh, on."
Were you loving the Meadow Super Bowl commercial?
You know what? I loved it until they plugged the fucking car into the electric outlet, and I was like, "This is such shit." I was like, "This is such." But yeah, obviously, up until that point, it was fantastic. It was great. Yeah. I had some goosebumps going. Not gonna lie, it was better than the movie. I thought.
Yeah.
Caden's not a millennial. My producer's saying.
Yeah, he's too young to be a millennial.
Okay, what are the new bulls?
They're not allowed. They're not allowed to be designated.
Yeah, we don't even.
Right. You're not allowed to designate or categorize.
They're called
mumble
pussies.
rappers.
They're called pussies where I'm from.
That's fucking. I love you, Caden. Don't listen to me. And I knew his name was Whitlow. I was just our punter is Winslow. We signed a new punter tonight. Anyway, Walter Payton was the back that stood out to me. I was in 3rd grade, and I became a Walter Payton, which then dominoed like you with your dad. My dad was actually a Giant fan. I just became loyal to the Chicago Bears. And that, Shayne, what was your story real quick?
Well,
real quick.
You know, a little bit. I was my first love was basketball, and believe it or not, you know, the whole cocaine circus, Chicago Bulls, MJ talking about that. My mom was the mom that bought me a Chicago Bulls Reggie Theus poster back in the day. And the school that I went to was our colors were red, white, and black. So she bought me this poster. It had Reggie Theus, like Orlando Woolridge. This is pre-MJ. One of those like Ames stores that used to sell posters and shit. So I got involved. I was a Chicago Bulls fan, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to be a Bears fan, and the rest is history. You know, I'm from New York, and I Syracuse basketball. That's about it. That's about all I root for here in New York.
Funny. I know so many people who, if they're just so many people whose origins of fandom begin with an inanimate object that's given to them by their parents, just a random thing. And I'm a big Ohio State fan for college football. I actually pursued my graduate degree there online, so I'm actually a student as well there. Now that was kind of like a bucket list kind of a thing for me to actually earn my stripes, because I kind of feel like, you know, if you're a college fan, you have to have some ties of some sort, especially if it's not a local college. So I had to verify, or basically validate myself there, more or less. But the moral of the story, my father bought me like a Tasmanian devil Disney hat, and he was wearing all Ohio State shit, and it was an Ohio State themed hat when I was like 7 years old. And around here, you know, I'm not going to fucking watch Rutgers. And like Notre Dame, I just couldn't get into Notre Dame that much, other than like Rudy and the song and everything. But that's how I started watching Ohio State since I was 7 years old, because my father just bought me this dumb hat for absolutely no reason. He's not an Ohio State fan. He's actually a Florida State fan. So that's how that happened. So I find that very funny, because that's a lot of people have a similar type of story, I feel like.
Yeah, Reggie Theus of all people. You know, you hear
Theus got you to Bears? How does this?
Chicago.
And you just stayed within
Chicago. Yeah, I mean, you're talking MJ
city.
Came in 84, 85. So this was pre that.
Right.
So yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I'll have to bust out that poster. I still have it in storage. But yeah, just, you know, Orlando Woolridge, I think Logan Frost put in there. It was probably his family's, what do you say, Starline posters or some shit like that. But yeah, I was a huge basketball fan. The town I grew up with was basketball 24/7, 365. So that was my first love. And then I did Chicago Bears, man. I got fucking hooked big time, and I've been getting my ass beat ever since. As a Bears fan.
It is an addiction.
Yeah,
it is an addiction. And my wife's like, "You're fucking lucky." I was like, "Why?" This is how my wife's smart. You know, she's like, because your addiction is your passion, and it's safe, even though they always.
And it'll never change, man. I'm sure you guys are this. I know, Phil, you are. Well, Mikey, I'm sure you're the same way. I mean, you'll never catch me wearing a Buffalo Bills hat or any of that. No. And I don't have that in me. I had people, I have a son and a daughter, and they're like, "Oh, you know, you're supposed to let your kids choose their own." Not in my house.
Yeah, that's not the way I grew up.
My son's a fucking Bears fan.
Not the way I grew up. I mean,
my dad got home from work one day, and my mom had a New York Yankees jersey on me, and my dad despises everything about the Yankees. We're Dodgers fans. Yeah. He ripped it off my body and burned it in the parking lot. I mean, that's the way we grew up.
Yeah, I mean, my son's got no options. I mean, I got a son and a daughter. I mean, and they both. I mean, there's no. I mean, it's a dictatorship when it comes to fandom. I mean, it just is. I'm sorry.
Yeah. My mother-in-law said to me, "It's really not fair that you're choosing their teams." Yeah. I looked at my wife. My wife's like, "Mom, this is different."
Shut up, Wendy. I'll break your hip. That's what I would have said,
right? Exactly. I was like, you just don't get it. You don't even watch a fucking sport. So don't even worry about it. So that was the end of that. And I'm a big believer in what Shayne said. I refused in college and anytime in high school, as Claudio, the Barber, our moderator, can attest. I never played with any other team. I don't give a fuck if it was Atari football all the way up, Madden, Tecmo Bowl. I had to be the Bears. If that meant my buddy had to be the Bears too because he liked the Bears, that would be fine. But I refused to play with any other
Even
team.
If they had the generic teams, you had to take the blue and orange team.
You had to take Chicago. Right. CHI.
Right.
I played with them. 10-yard fight. You ever play that game with the It was like 5-on-5 football with All I remember is the guy, maybe Caden could drop it in here. It's like, crash busters, hunt, hunt, hunt. You could just keep hunt, hunt. And then you kept, anyway. I'm old. I'm old now.
We all are, man.
I'm old, Mike. I need
I
reading
hear
glasses. But that's people were asking Phil and Shayne. Now, Mikey, Beardown, Cuz from Jersey. You're getting his story. The Tasmanian hat, as well as the Chicago Bears. Mike Dick Buckus, Dick Buckus is all over the place, Shayne. Mike, he's calling out
Twitter
the frauds.
Outrageous.
He's calling out the offensive line. I saw him with my boy Kenneth Davis saying
George Halas will be turning over in his grave.
Yeah, George Halas will be turning over in his grave.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong.
What did you think about the hires?
I love the polls hire. I love the polls hire. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. I've said it. It's documented, well documented. I wanted Brian Daboll. That was my number one guy for a head coach. Yeah, I wanted Daboll. That being said, everything that Eberflus has said, everything I've heard about him, the kind of staff he's brought in, I guess maybe I'm just another member of the occult, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on Eberflus. I like everything he said. I thought it was the antithesis of Nagy in terms of his transparency, in terms of how he was going to hold people accountable, in terms of the way he was approaching the game. And one of the things he said that stuck out to me in the initial presser was when they asked him if he was going to call the defensive plays, and he automatically shut it down. And he's like, no, that's why I have a defensive coordinator. I'm the head coach. I'm the executive coach. And I just think Nagy spent so much fucking time trying to figure out what was his identity? What was this offensive identity? He wasted so much time trying to figure that out that everything else fell by the wayside, and you saw it erode every season. It got worse and worse and worse and worse. And I think this was refreshing to hear. I like his approach a lot more. So I love polls. Eberflus, I didn't know too much about when they hired him, other than obviously how he turned around the Colts defense from, bottom of the barrel defense when he took over to a top 10 unit 4 consecutive years, yada, yada, yada. But I'm pleased with the hires, and I'm looking forward to see what the cultural changes and what the product changes on the field will be this season. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think there's a lot of work to do with I think the roster we could get into that, but the hires themselves, I like it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Daboll at all. So I'm on the other end. But I totally agree with you. The mic drop moment for us, as we covered it, is the accountability. He's a great teacher. And as a coach, Matt Nagy was a shoe salesman. And that's what we called him here. Be shoe. And we saw the guy just be everything that you shouldn't be. And I called it really early on. And as Adam Rank could tell you, I just didn't believe, and it just kept falling by the wayside the more you watch tape. Here, they're saying all the right things, though, Mike, to your point. And I think the mic drop moment is, no, I'm going to be a head coach. I'm not going to call plays. We saw Matt Nagy, big plays are nice. That was his focus. Let's do the Willy Wonka and the Santa sleigh and all this stuff.
Plays, not
Big
players.
Plays are nice. They're good. We need more of those.
Yeah, exactly. There it is.
Yeah, and it worked. Hey, listen, the first season, for the first half of the season, the window dressing that nobody ever saw before, it worked. And then as soon as they got him on tape for 8 games, 9 games, you saw the way, even in 2018, the offense tailed off at the end of the year. The offense was not running on all cylinders at the end of 2018.
Well, to your point, he couldn't understand his identity.
He didn't have an identity.
Exactly.
I was calling him.
For us.
I changed his name 2 times last year. I changed him from Matt to Matthew, and then when it really got bad, he degraded down to Mateo. I started calling him Mateo. He was no longer Matt. I would not call him Matt. I didn't call him Matt the entire season. Refused to call him that.
Yeah, he had the identity. He just wanted no part of running the football being his identity. He had the quote. They didn't bring me here to run the I formation, but if you could fucking win with it, you dickhead,
go ahead and do whatever you can to win.
Fucking NFL.
He couldn't figure out
fucking win.
He couldn't figure out Jordan Howard, and he couldn't figure out David Montgomery. When you're an offensive guru and your focus is on plays and not players, then that's why he's gone, and no one's hired him. It's that simple. Now we'll see. You guys are hearing this Bieniemy stuff. He might not have a job. They're having a meeting. Did you see this? So
I didn't.
Rumors are that Matt Nagy is going to come replace. I don't know how the optics of that is going to look if Bieniemy gets replaced by Matt Nagy. Jeez. It's just ridiculous on every level. Here's Andy Reid, another guy that I'm not a big Andy Reid fan, but
really,
yeah. But either you could, you could take him. His record is what it is. I look at the talent he has had, and it's pretty. Anybody could call plays there. Chris Jackal could call plays from his toilet over there, right, Chris? So I don't know. But what I'm saying is he was promoting Bieniemy to be a head coach. Then all of a sudden, rumors are now that they're going to have a meeting. And when you start promoting meetings out there in the public, I don't know what that's up for. Unless he's promoting him to assistant head coach and brings Nagy in, I don't know. But anyway, it's not a Kansas City Chiefs show. But I'm still very vocally angry with Matt Nagy. I mean, Andy Reid selling us Matt Nagy, that good old boy network type of stuff. And what'd you think of Ryan Pace real quick before? Obviously, the new chapter, new era of Chicago Bears football is, but were you a Pace guy?
I think Pace was very hit or miss. And I met Ryan. I spoke to Ryan at a pretty decent length once. I met him one time, and he was very, very cordial. He spoke, took his time to talk to me and my father, which I thought was very classy. It was my dad's birthday. We were at a game. We had field passes, and he took his time, and I was very impressed with that. Number one, he carried himself like a gentleman. But as far as a football GM and a manager, I think, listen, everything is going to be hung on his career at failing at the quarterback position, and he failed miserably at the quarterback position. Mitch Trubisky pick was bad. The Mike Glennon signing was bad. The Andy Dalton move was bad. Bringing over Nick Foles. Yeah. And listen, I might think that Foles is honestly the best out of every quarterback I just mentioned. I honestly think he may be, if he has the correct offensive line in front of him. I think I like Foles' attitude. But anyway, about Pace, he whiffed on Adam Shaheen. That was a bad waste of a second-round pick. The Leonard Floyd pick was actually, I think we all could say, should have been a better, end product for the Bears, considering what he's done in Los Angeles. Now, granted, he's playing around a whole different type of cast of characters to some extent, so he's got a lot of help. But yeah, I just think Pace's strongest point was his late round drafting, and I don't think there's any question about that. But you can't forget he did bring Mack here, he did bring Hicks here. He brought Trevathan here when Trevathan was still serviceable in the beginning, in the early years. But
that's his key part right there, Mikey, is you're naming free agent, and that's who he was. He was a pro personnel guy.
Yeah.
And you're listing off free agents, NFL free agents. That's the big time separator for me with Ryan Poles, is he came up and he started in scouting. You know what I mean? And and he's talked about building through the draft. So not to cut you off, but I just thought it was important. Thought it was important to point that out, that these guys that you're all naming are established vets that are within the NFL. He missed
a lot in the draft.
He missed. He missed on Kevin White. That was another one. Now, I don't know if you could really hang Kevin White on, because I think the guy was one of those guys who just had freak injury problems. Like, you can't really predict a guy that's going to be a Fabergé egg. I mean, I don't think you can. But he did have some hits in the draft. Now, Eddie Jackson looked like he was going to be an all-time pick for Pace, considering where he got him. I don't know where Eddie Jackson has gone the last couple seasons, and I call him out all the time for it.
He's gone into his bank account. And just checking.
That's exactly right.
That's
exactly
laying
right.
on the hood of his Bentley at the gas station. Doing
I
Instagram
know.
videos.
I know.
Don't talk about Eddie. Don't talk about Eddie.
But no,
hey, Eddie,
and then
you're gonna tackle Eddie. You're gonna tackle?
No, he ain't gonna tackle. He ain't gonna tackle.
tackling ain't for me.
I don't even need him to
tackle
tackle. If you're not going to
Eberflus.
tackle, at least get some of those pick sixes, though. Like at least let's get some of that. I mean, but no. And then Eddie Goldman was looked like a good pick. He had a bad year. He found Cody Whitehair was a nice player for a while. Again, he had a down year last year. James Daniels looked like he was going to be a good player. He had a decent year, I guess. But no, he was negligent with the offensive line. Not so much this year because he did draft 2 offensive tackles, so I can't say he was completely negligent this year. But the year before, right? Yes, because the year before he totally was negligent. Just did not. It seemed like he just did not care, and it was such a glaring problem. And it came back to bite them again because they had no depth again. Jermaine Ifedi is a fucking clown. They got to get him. He's one of the guys I want gone more than anybody. He's got to go.
He's not coming back.
He's unrestricted free agent. He's gone.
He's gone. Poles made it a point.
He essentially called him out. Yeah, he dumped gasoline on him on the way
and he
out.
should, and he fucking should, because when I saw that on television, and I lost my mind, bro. I lost my mind.
We go live after every game with BHL, and Phil and I were ranting on it. That night.
Just some of these blonde boys were defending it. Like,
defending.
That's true. You can't have a 15-yard.
What does it matter? You're gonna fucking lose by 30. What the fuck does it matter? You're gonna let your guy get railroaded? Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. Come on.
Mikey's fitting right in.
It's just it's garbage, bro. Like they haven't had guys who are nasty across the front since Kyle Long and since Josh Sitton. That's when they were really they were nasty across the front, like just guys with attitude who like you didn't want to fuck around with them, and you knew that with Kyle right away. And then Sitton was a similar type of player. Now it looks like Jenkins and Barber might be of that same mold in terms of like just being nasty guys. That's what you want. You want those kind of guys. I don't need a guy dancing around like and Ifedi sucks anyway. Even when he's good, he's not even that great when he plays and when he's healthy. So, and then, I mean, forget it. And then you had guys like this other guy. What the fuck was his name? The converted undrafted free agent defensive lineman. He was the worst offensive lineman I've ever seen in the history of the NFL.
Coward.
Rashad Coward.
Rashad.
I mean, the 2020 season, the offensive lines that they dragged out there, I mean, some of the assembly of these guys, I've never seen anything worse. So Bars and Mustafa, I'm worried about them. But the question I think originally was when I think of Pace as a general manager, he was he's too hot or cold, bro. He made some great moves, but he missed far too often, I think, with the high draft picks. And also one thing I want to add, his cap management and some of these restructured contracts. I just think like you're paying Jimmy. What are you paying Jimmy Graham? Why did we pay Andy Dalton $10 million this year? Some of those financial decisions were just mind boggling. And that was a knock I had on him also.
So you just go, I'm right step for step with you. The only thing I think Leonard Floyd is just a product of the environment that he's in. He's an average guy. Tight ends block his ass out of there. Great speed. He's going to get home on twist game. Great athlete, but a lot of these stat nerds are going to point stats to sacks when I'm going to show you the tape. And on 6 consecutive run plays to his side, he's getting blown out by a Bryce. What was his name? The third tight end out there, Bryce. What was the kid from the one of those types? Third string tight end is blowing his ass out of there. So Ryan Pace just always, it seemed like to what Shayne is saying, the story's going to be written. This guy was a pro personnel side guy who liked to scout established, known talent within the NFL. And you saw him miss on first round or high picks and having to go into the free agency to replace him with Allen Robinson for Kevin White. You had to sign Jimmy Graham because of freaking Shaheen or Trey Burton.
Yeah,
Trey
Burton
started with
Deion
Sims.
Yeah.
Deion Sims, yep.
Yeah.
You got all of these,
and then he threw a shitload of money in free agency to cover it up.
That's
he botched the tight end position so
big time.
Poles is out here speaking. You build through the draft. They're saying everything we've talked about here. He's creating new positions. He's got an assistant GM. They're both offensive linemen, former offensive tackles. This stuff, these priority pieces for Justin Fields. Let's just face it. Anybody, I saw Cap talking to some writer, I can't remember, during David Kaplan, during Super Bowl week, and he's like, how many blue chippers do the Bears have?
Oh, yeah, that was Polian. He was talking.
No, it wasn't him. It was on the his Rush podcast.
Yeah, but he was talking about Bill Polian.
Oh, yeah,
the league.
But yeah,
asking how many blue chippers the Bears had.
Yes. So let's do this when you look at this roster, guys, the three of us as fanatics, you look at it, how many would you classify in the blue chip category? The writer that was on, I thought, just based on his facial expression towards Justin Fields, he wasn't in the David Kaplan camp, as that's a blue chipper. So I'm just setting the tone for this exercise. For me, if we go through it, do we all agree? I put David Montgomery in the top elite category based on what I see on tape. Obviously, for Kyle Brandt's fantasy hour, he's not in his area because of fantasy points and that. But tape tells me, had he had a coach that figured out his identity, it was David and an offensive line, like you said. I just think that furthers my point when you have all these pussies on the offensive line that aren't doing their assignment, don't know it, and David's running like a fucking cat with his fucking fur on fire. That stuff matters to me. So I believe David Montgomery's a blue chip. Anybody else disagree?
Yeah, I don't think he is.
You're in.
You're not a Monty fan?
I am a fan of his. I think he runs very hard. Do I think he's an elite running back? I don't. And because here's the thing: they're going to have to commit financially to him. They're going to have to make that decision. What are they going to commit to David? Yeah, go ahead.
I want this because I was going to talk to Jason McKie about this too, but we'll talk about it again later. Everybody is saying you can't pay, but we don't even know what the pay is going to be. He's got another year under this deal, and then you go from there. Obviously, a market is going to be set for running backs after this season, right? We're going to see the market, whoever the free agent running backs are, there's going to be a market set. So just like real estate, your realtors going around and looking at the houses that were sold around your neighborhood to get a price for you. I forget what that's called, but the same things. So everybody say we can't pay David.
An appraisal.
Appraisal value.
Yep.
So my appraisal value, I totally disagree with you. David Montgomery. Exactly. This is what we do here. Me and Olin totally disagree about Sam Mustipher. And we talked about it here.
I'm on your side with that.
The goal is to try to get this team better. I believe David Montgomery is a blue chipper. So that would be one. You say no. I'm not worried about his next deal. When that comes, is he a better back than Tariq Cohen? Absolutely. They paid Cohen, right?
Yes.
They stupidly paid Cohen.
Very stupidly. Stupidly. There's no question about that.
Under Luke Getsy, let's see what David Montgomery is. That's going to be amazing. So
that's going to be the key with a lot of guys on this offense, because you haven't had an offense with any type of identity for 4 seasons.
Exactly.
So let's see what all these guys, because people want to dump all over Cole Kmet. Fine, okay. For the position that they drafted him in, I can understand it. People want to dump all over Justin Fields. Fine, okay, I can understand it. But the bottom line is, I'm not taking any stock, negative or positive, out of what I've seen in this past season especially, from any of these offensive players. I'm not holding any stock in it, because the fact of the matter is this coaching staff was so blind. This guy was so blind. He was so negligent. Again, I used the word with Pace. I'll use it with Nagy. Just absolutely negligent. There was no plan for Justin Fields. They didn't know what they were doing. The whole quarterback bullshit where Dalton was still the starter no matter what, and whatever deal that they had with him and whatever promises were made, the approach was bogus. The adjustments in season were bogus or non-existent, and the offense never had an identity the entire year. So again, I want to see, and to your point, Exactly. Let's see what he looks like in a Getsy offense with a coach who hopefully establishes an identity for him. But I do think
with David, he's as good as he is.
Well,
with your,
you got to ask it this way: the contract shouldn't even honestly be a part of the talk. In terms of his talent, what do you think that he's what is keeping him from being elite in terms of talent in your eyes?
I don't think he has like an elite breakaway. I don't think he has elite breakaway type of speed. I don't think he has elite home run hitter power. I know he's had a run or
80-yard run
against the Texans. Are you talking about the Texans run?
I saw you talk about that play.
The Texans,
but they took him out only 11 carries.
I get it.
Alvin Kamara.
There's no question they should have ran him more.
There's 22 more carries.
There's no question about it. I'd like to see again if David produces a monster year this year, I will eat my words. My only thing is that I find the running back position in the NFL to be very fickle in that unless you're a certain category of player, if the offensive line is built properly and the system is built well, I think a lot of these guys at running back are interchangeable because I think you saw Herbert come in and do some nice things too. So I wonder, is it Montgomery? Again, very hard runner. He runs extremely hard, which I love. Seems to be a great locker room guy. Seems to say all the right things. Everything I've ever heard him say, says the right things, leadership qualities, locker room shit. I love that. No doubt about it. But it's just, in my opinion, the running back position nowadays is just, if it's the right system with a good offensive line, a lot of guys could be successful. So I do look down the road a little bit and I say, are we really going to, extend ourselves to pay this guy? Is it necessary to do so? Is he that special that it's necessary to keep him specifically here as opposed to trying something else, trying Herbert or going in another direction? That's the only question I want answered. It's nothing personal against Montgomery. I like Montgomery a lot. I've drafted him in fantasy leagues. I mean, I think he's very serviceable. I just don't know if he's an elite guy like a Jonathan Taylor or, some other running back.
These offenses, these teams, Jonathan Taylor, it's one of the best offensive lines in football.
That's exactly right. That's
the holes that this dude's running through.
100%.
David's never seen it. Maybe he saw it in that 100%. Texas game.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right on that.
Let's see what David does with a guy that listen, did you guys watch Jeff Joniak talking to Getsy?
I did not
see it. No. Jackal or Claudio or somebody pull that up. It's on YouTube. Look whose jersey's hanging behind Luke Getsy. That Shayne, that of all people. That stuff matters. No. Luke Getsy David. It wasn't Justin Fields. I was shocked. It's David Montgomery hanging in the background. I think when you look at the floor, Shanahan, this is David Montgomery's. That's the perfect.
I hope he blows up. I hope I eat every word, bro. I really do. I hope he explodes.
We're gonna have you back on to talk about it when it does. But
Phil, I brought this up a long time ago, and I love David Montgomery. Do I think that the Chicago Bears are going to sign him to an extension? I don't. As much as it pains me to say that, it's just
I don't know how you guys get to that point. That's 2 years from now.
No, it's not, Phil. He's in his last year of his contract.
Yeah, a year. Well, basically, free agency is this year. That's 2 free agencies. I'm saying but now. Next year, he's going to
listen. If you want a guy back, he's never seeing fucking free agency is the point.
So Allen Robinson coming back?
No.
Why not?
Oh God, I don't. I think the milk has been soured.
He wants.
I think the milk's
fucking
$1
million.
But you saw what he did on the football field.
Not this year. We didn't.
Exactly. So that's why you don't want him back. But if he produced, Mike, you would be like, we got to keep this motherfucker for Justin.
But he didn't.
I know. That's why I'm saying.
And why didn't he, though? Why didn't he? Because he was frustrated and because the coaching staff sucks? I get that.
He's a selfish football. Fuck the coaching staff. A real fucking professional athlete goes beyond that. And that's where where we stood our ground. I'm showing plays away or to him There it is. David Montgomery in the background.
I mean, did he choose that jersey to be there? Is what you're telling
yes,
me?
he's telling them.
Oh,
Hey,
stop. That's a stage.
David
I thought he was in his house or something and he had the jersey. I would have been impressed with that. He was in the fucking locker room.
Listen, they always do these things.
So you think they asked him, what jersey do you want hung
on
on?
the Chicago Bears, you're lucky they didn't have a fucking Dick Buckets jersey up there.
Yo, Phil,
we're lucky that he didn't have a bucket.
You're sick. I like it, though. I like it. I like
if they had a fucking George Halas jersey or Buckets jersey or Richard Dent bond, I would be pissed off today because here you go down that fucking memory lane. It's time to fucking build a future now.
Bears fans love memory lane because it's all we have.
We don't. I don't go there.
Where do you stand on the Bears?
I don't say it. I don't say
me
it.
either. It's fucking weak and fucking played out. Right?
It's
the weakest. It's so fucking lame.
I guess it was cool, like, you know, and
30 years ago.
It had to be fucking awesome 30 years ago.
Yeah,
it had to
35
be awesome.
years ago.
Like, I could totally see myself out at the bar if I was bombed and I would just be saying it nonstop. But now it's like, you know, we haven't been that. Like, there's not the Bears what, bro? Like, stop.
Exactly.
You know,
it's not embarrassing.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
You fuck yourself.
Exactly. Don't fucking say that. The Bears. It's disrespectful to Polacks everywhere. Come on. We're better than that. It's a new era. It's the Chicago Bears, like the Ohio State.
Mikey, where do you stand? Where do you stand with the franchise? The guy that's going to lead us out of the Bearsville, number one, Justin Fields. What is
he a blue chipper? Stay in the
I think
you are one, right?
So here's the thing is that when Justin Fields transferred to Ohio State, I knew all about his pedigree coming out of high school. I knew all that, but I didn't know really what I was going to get until I saw him. I watch every game religiously with them like I do with the Bears. Not the Bears, the Bears. But watching every game, I could tell you a couple things. Besides the insane athleticism, besides the insane arm talent, there were some intangibles that he had that I thought were just incredible. 2019 on the road in Ann Arbor against Michigan, he gets his knee twisted up pretty bad to the point where I thought he was not going to be able to come back in the game.
Next play.
Comes back in next play, makes a throw to Garrett Wilson in the corner of the end zone. That way he avoids the rush. Incredible. Fast forward a year later against Clemson in the playoff game, gets spiked by Skalski, the Clemson linebacker, a helmet to the sternum. I thought he broke his ribs. I mean, and he did crack a rib, I think. Comes back in 2 plays later, again, comes back in and throws a touchdown pass. I think he has the hunger to win. The last year at Ohio State, how he stayed locked in his dorm room to prepare for the season because nobody could go out because of COVID. And him and Trevor Lawrence were kind of the campaign managers to make sure the season actually happened. Him taking that much onus on his shoulders to try and make sure this. I think he's a guy who loves the game of football first and foremost. I think he's got the leadership qualities. I think he shows it through action more than speech, in terms of just how he just battles through. I mean, let's be honest. This guy got the absolute piss kicked out of him this year.
Oh my God.
I mean, this guy.
Cleveland game alone.
The Cleveland game alone would make normal people say, "I'm never playing another snap of football ever again."
Mitch would have choked on his binky.
That game reminded me of the NFC title game when the Giants played the Niners and Eli got absolutely
when he got bloodied.
Destroyed. Oh, they just killed him. I go, there's no way. Now the Giants, they even won that game, which is incredible.
Out of it.
That was the type
Mario
of beating
Manningham pass down the left sideline.
That was in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that was the Super Bowl.
That was in the Super Bowl. But that game, that's what it reminded. Like, he took that type of a beating and he just kept coming back. I think he's a good kid. I think he's got his head on his shoulders. And yeah, I think he can be a blue chipper. Again, I'm not holding any stock from this season. So to me, this season coming up is his rookie season. To me, I'm glad he got experience. It was important for him to get game experience. But other than that, he operated under a total ass clown of a head coach. So to me, this is his rookie year. Let's see now a whole clean slate for everybody. And most importantly, for number one.
But in your opinion, he's in that class of he's a blue chip talent.
I think you saw the shades of the flashes, I should say, of what he can do against the 49ers. 4th and 1. He makes every member, and by the way, that's no slouch of a defense. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. He makes everybody on that defense miss and runs for a touchdown. Against the Steelers.
It does it. I mean, no Nagy. No Nagy was there.
And I mean, 2 games where the defense could not stop the opposing offense. Where games that
exactly.
And that's tough pills to swallow, but that's the way it goes. But no, he's shown flashes to me, and I think he will be. I think he will. I think he is. Yes, I just don't think you've seen it yet because obviously rookie year, lame duck head coach, second worst offensive line in terms of allowing pocket pressure, and receivers who, by the way, I mean. Everybody loves Darnell Mooney, and that's fine. I like Darnell Mooney. I think he's a good pass catcher, but people tend to overblow Darnell Mooney. In my opinion, they're trying to make this guy, they're trying to talk you into believing that this guy is a wide receiver 1 in the worst way. And I just disagree with it.
Have you been watching our show, Mikey?
No, I haven't.
That's why you fit in here, man.
Yeah, because he's not, and that's okay. I keep telling people that's okay.
Right, and people get offended by. I've talked about it all.
Claudio gets.
There's Bears fans that want to treat this kid like he's fucking Randy Moss, and it's just not. That is not me disparaging the kid.
No,
on a fucking great team, he's a 2 or even a number 3, and that's perfectly fucking fine. He's a good wide receiver.
2 receiver. In my scout's eye, but
he's not a 1 wide receiver.
No, he's not. If I said it. Yeah. If I ever called him a 1, he's got the potential. He doesn't have the the consistent on-field hands catching.
I don't think he has the build to be a 1 either. I think if you look at a lot of the ones, they're bigger guys, like a Cooper Kupp, like a DeAndre Hopkins, a Devontae Adams. These guys, their catch rate is a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. He's not physically built like any of those men that I just mentioned, and that's okay. But that's where people get so upset, and I'm like, it's okay that he's a 2. It's okay. It's not a big deal.
Exactly. There's no shot at it.
The problem is that they don't have anybody else. That's the problem. They don't. Exactly. They got a couple speedster guys who in the Packer game, you saw Demir Bird, you saw Jakeem Grant, but Jakeem Grant's a specialist. They have a couple guys who are speedsters. They do not have. And I said this, I did a whole show on this, whole podcast. They do not have a single game-wrecking skill position player on this team other than the quarterback. Other than the quarterback, there's not one guy who could just wreck a game by themselves, in my opinion. Now, you're going to say Montgomery.
I say David. Okay. He's proven it, that he could do it. Again, we have a Schlepp as a coach.
Yes.
A Schlepp. He couldn't even run the ball consistently.
No, he couldn't. No, he couldn't.
That's unfair. It's like having a great, painter and asking him to fucking spray paint. He's a painter. He can't spray paint. Like, don't do that. That's what Nagy did. Yeah. So I don't care what philosophy 1990 has to say, even though he's my boy. I believe David Montgomery is elite. So I believe in the Mooney case, though, he is a blue chip talent. In the fact of he's a starter. That's a quality number 2 receiver, right?
Yeah, but there. I don't think under the terms of what Polian was talking, I don't think.
In my book, I believe Mooney is. So I got Fields, Montgomery, and Mooney.
So you're just 3. You're just talking about guys that you want to keep, and
I believe those are good foundational pieces of starter quality.
I'm such a pessimist. I only have 1 on offense. I'm not even being a pessimist. I'm just being honest. Yeah. That's how I feel about it. It just feels on defense.
Other guy on defense, you obviously Mac.
Yeah, Mac is a blue chip guy, and I think Robert Quinn proved if he's healthy, he's a blue chip guy. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Roquan? Is Roquan a blue chip guy?
Absolutely.
Oh, he's 100% a blue chip guy, but in the scheme, he's going to be making more big plays now with this switch, moving him
in the
outside to Will. Yeah. Because for me, I talked about this just like I did with Mooney. I love Roquan Smith. I'm not giving him $100 million contract to be an off the ball backer in my 34 defense. I had a problem with that. I think he can make a lot more splash plays as a Will under Eberflus. I mean, see the monster that he has in Indy doing the same type of things. But I mean, in terms of, is he a blue chip prospect? 100% all day long. Roquan Smith is a blue chip guy. I mean, he's a foundational piece, and I think with them making this switch, I think he's going to be a guy that they move forward with, and I think they're going to pay him.
Yeah, they're going to have to pay him a lot. They're going to have to pay him $100 million.
Yep. He's another guy. His story is how does he do under Eberflus and Alan Williams, the defensive coordinator? But I'm in there. So I got 6. Mikey's got 2. No, 3.
No, I got.
Do you have Roquan?
Yeah, I got 4. Yeah, Roquan.
You got 4.
Yeah. I think the most overblown Bears players, and again, we disagreed on Montgomery, so that's understood. But other than him, I think Mooney and Jaylon Johnson are the 2 most overblown players on this team. And that's not to say that they're not serviceable and that they're not good and that they're not starters in the NFL. They are. Right. But people overblow who Jaylon Johnson is also. And this is all because of there's something called the illusory effect theory. Do you know about this? The illusory truth effect. The illusory
Occam's razor.
Occam's razor, I know very well. Illusory truth effect is basically when you're fed false information for so long, you start to believe or get the illusion that something that isn't true is actually in fact true.
That's Lions fans.
Okay. So but basically we're saying, like, because the Bears have been so bad offensively, especially a pass catcher for so long, that Darnell Mooney's a wide receiver 1. The Bears corners, since Fuller left and since Bryce Callahan left, and I know Fuller had a bad year this year in Denver, but
he was great with us.
Yeah, he was great with us. But since the corner play has been so abysmal, the secondary was so abysmal this year. Oh, Jaylon Johnson's incredible. He's incredible. He's a lockdown island corner. No, he's not. Not yet. Could he get there? Perhaps he could get there, but he's not yet. And that's okay. But again, I just think it's these a couple players on this team that fans just need to dial back. And when you really look at the roster still is in need of a lot of help. But I do think that that's where Poles will do his work. Like you said, Shayne, before too, building through the draft. Let's see if he keeps to that. The problem is that draft equity is not exactly ideal this year. It's not exactly ideal.
I think that part of it gets a little bit overblown because I understand we have 5 picks, but look at the Rams. You know, the Rams never have a first round pick, but they had 9 picks last year. The year before, they had 9 picks. 3 years ago, they had 8 picks. Mm-hmm. So hey, it's a fucking poker game. You can move around. We're at 39 now.
Have to move around.
And that's what Pace Pace moved, but Pace always overpaid and went up.
He went back up.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he would make big moves in the trade market.
Back up. Travis Gibson, David Montgomery, Nick Kwiatkowski. Those 3 guys.
Teven Jenkins.
So 4 guys that I really are foundational.
Anthony Miller. I mean,
Miller.
Yep. Miller was light.
He was running his mouth today too.
I saw him taking shots at Nagy. I have more respect. Take the shot at Nagy right away. Don't jump on the fucking Allen.
Yeah, maybe he should concentrate on not being on 4 teams since he left Chicago. Worry about that, Anthony.
Shayne. I know we're getting 10 minutes and we got our next guest, and I'm enjoying our conversation. If you're just tuning in right now, Tape Never Lies Network, we got our guy Mikey Beardown Cuz at Beardown Cuz on Instagram joining us. You can listen to his podcast. He's got 2 podcasts. Our intro for him was a little screwy now that I look back. So you have the one podcast with Alex Brown during the season.
Yes.
What's the name of that again? And it's on Instagram.
It's Bear Down with Alex Brown.
Bear Down with Alex Brown. And then you got what's the I like the creativity of this other
Brilliantly Dumb Show.
The Brilliantly Dumb Show. I got a guy, and his name is Greg Braggs. He looks like you a little bit. He is brilliantly dumb. He would be perfect.
I followed.
Must have been at the top of your fucking class.
I follow Greg on Twitter. He's very
all right. So there you go. Get him on your show.
He's not a smart man though.
Jimmy K, you're the only fucking guy disagreeing with me. What are you talking about? Jimmy K.
I think we only really disagreed fundamentally on Montgomery. That was it. Yeah.
I want to hear Shayne's opinion of Jaylon Johnson. Is he a blue chip?
Yeah, he's definitely somebody that you move forward with. I mean, he's still only 22 years. He was very, very young coming out.
Yep.
He's a guy that I'm moving forward with.
He's a starter for you.
Oh, he's a starter.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Me too. I think he's a starter.
Absolutely. But
he's not blue.
To Mikey's point, is this?
I agree with Mikey.
Is this Revis Island reincarnated? Fuck no.
This guy, he doesn't tackle well. Now I know he's coming off an injury.
And the thing that does, and I understand you want to have that mindset as a corner, and that you're never going to get beat, and then you have to have that short term. Oh fuck, I got beat. But to me, Jalen's got to grow up a little bit there, because when he gets beat, he doesn't just let it go. It carries over for a couple of plays from him. That's what bothers me with him. And I'm always concerned about that shoulder. I want
to see him tackle.
Phil,
that might be why he hesitates.
That's my point. That's my point. He was a top 20 talent all fucking day long in the draft, and he dropped for one.
He got injured in Utah. He was hurt.
4 times. He's had surgery on that same shoulder.
And he got hurt.
And he's 22 years old.
Yeah, it's not good.
Corey Graham excites me, especially obviously in the 4-3 and the cover 2 philosophy and the Tampa 2 and all this stuff coming back to the Chicago Bears. I know fans are excited, but the Bears have been in nickel and they've been playing cover 2 a lot. It's just the foundational base roots of this defense, I think, are going to be under that loafs and hits Eberflus philosophy. I think that is going to be the biggest benefit for this football team, this offense, and especially this defense. We're all going to find out who Luke Getsy is. I kind of know who Eberflus is, and I like it a lot, but he's going to show me, are these guys hustling? Are they playing? So I'm with both of you. Jaylon Johnson, to me, is not in my blue chip category. He's a question mark because he doesn't tackle. There you go. Here's mine under against Bill Polian. Well, let's answer the last one. As far as Eddie Jackson is not, for me, a blue chipper. He has that ability to be. We saw
he was
once he got paid.
Oh, that was it.
He's did the Charles Leno. And speed bump Charlie and no tackle Frosted Flakes or whatever. He has an opportunity, though, to turn his career around, because there ain't going to be none of that shit going down under Eberflus. He could change, because Mike, you played football.
Yeah.
It's a mentality to tackle. It's a
does
mentality.
Does he want to change? I think is the question.
Does
he want to change?
He's got the.
Is he going to buy in?
He needs to get kicked in the dick, just like Saban did to him. That's the thing. He went through this. I'm an Alabama guy, been an Alabama guy my entire life, and he was. I've talked about this 100 times on the show. He was the captain there, and he went through a little spell where he didn't want to tackle. Saban yanked his ass. That's the benefit of being at Alabama, because you bring in a fucking 5-star guy that's going to replace him.
Yep.
He's like, you're a captain. You're not going to tackle. You're asking to sit right over here. Eddie got the fucking memo. He came back with a vengeance, started tackling. Then he broke his leg, and that's why he fell in the draft. He got that rod inserted in his leg, went in the 4th round, because he was a 2nd round guy in the draft without the broken leg. But this is my hope for Eddie, is that you bring in this new regime, you bring in, Alan Williams, Eberflus, and hey, get your fucking track shoes ready. They've come out and said that
multiple times.
Yeah. And that shit to me is a direct message at guys like Eddie Jackson. Hey, I don't give a shit how fat your wallet is. If you're not going to put in the effort, you're going to be sitting over here, because you can't trade him.
Yeah,
you can't trade him with the way that his deal is constructed.
He's going to be traded. My qualifications for a blue chip player, and me and Bill Polian, he might have different. Starting, difference making, performs his position beyond the expectation. He gives maximum effort all the time. That's why Darnell Mooney, to me, is in that category, because we could say whatever it is we want. He's a number 2, and I totally agree with everyone. But Mooney blocks like he's a goddamn
one of the best blockers on the team.
Is the best blocker.
Yeah.
Well, fucking JP Holtz is 270 leading up a hole and he fucking pusses out. Here comes Darnell Mooney at 170 and he's blocking the fuck out of the safety or the linebacker. That says a lot to me. So as a coach and a scout, I'm looking at those things, philosophy. I'm looking at, is he a starter? Is he maximum effort? Does he make a difference on Sundays? Does he perform every Sunday up to par? Does he do his job? Those things I see in guys that I consider blue chips. And I think everybody here, I had six blue chippers and you had 4. And I think we all agree Jaylon Johnson's got something to prove.
You need at least 10 to 12. So either way, we still don't have enough.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
That's what this exercise
Well, Mikey, real quick, before we let you go, and I do want to hit on this, the tackles. Is Teven Jenkins the left tackle in your book?
I don't know yet. I don't think we've seen nearly enough. We have to see if he's going to be full go health. I assume everything reportedly is totally go with his back, and that's all been addressed and well and good now. So let's see full mini camp, full off season, full preseason, and let him go. But I don't know. I think there's a good chance they could be targeting a left tackle in free agency. I know Olin said that that's what they should do, and I don't necessarily disagree. I think there's a couple good ones out there. So it depends on what approach they're going to do. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to get a left tackle in free agency, kick him over to right, and move Baram inside. I guess that's a possibility. But whatever could bring in more competition, really, for the offensive line. I think they competition in depth.
Olin had an interesting comment on their latest pod where he said that he's heard that Cody Whitehair is moving back to center. Give me some fucking names. So there's a lot of smoke out there that they're not going to offer James Daniels the 10 mil. So to me, that would speak potentially. I just have a fear. Olin brought up the name Teron. Yeah, Olin brought up the name Teron Armstead in free agency. He's a good player, but his fucking snap count goes down, 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 down every year. And he's never fucking played 16 ever in the NFL, and he's 30 years old. So that is somebody that it's Jermon Bushrod. You're going to pay the fucking guy, and is it going to pay off? I think it's
Teven.
I think it's a huge game.
I'm excited about Teven because it's the same neglectful argument we saw, as Mikey's saying. And Teven also, every blog boy this side of the fucking Mississippi and that side, everybody in the fucking country has a story to tell without telling the truth. Everybody's trying to get clicks and narratives. That's the opposite of here. That's why you fit in here. And Adam Rank, my boy, right here, have a sick day. The Sick podcast. He reached out there. You got to have my guy Mikey. He would fit in perfect with you guys. So Adam Rank is a good scout. We reached out. Alex Acevedo, I believe, reached out to you and brought the family together. You got to come down here and have the best pizza in the country in New Haven with us. We'll take you. Listen.
I know. I've heard all about
Listen.
Hey, I'm a New York guy, man. They converted me, bro.
Talk some pizza. Let's go.
You really have the holy triumvirate of pizza claims with Jersey, New York, Connecticut. I mean,
that's why I'm inviting you down to New Haven. You're not
no
that
joke.
far. What are you over
what's
the
the
George
spot? Wait, so what's
are
the
you taking the
spot
tap?
where you're from?
The tap
what's
or the George GW to Connecticut?
What's the spot where you're from, Mikey?
There's a spot. There's a spot in Nutley, New Jersey called Ralph's, which is absolutely outrageous. Portnoy, I think, gave it and I don't take too much stock in his reviews, but I think he gave it like an 8.9, which is like pretty high. I know his highest rated pizza place, I believe, is in Jersey, though. However,
I don't know.
It must have been but he did say class. Say New Haven is the pizza capital of America.
America.
Who says that?
Courtney, the same guy you just quoted.
Oh, then let me do what I hired to do.
It's because it's so condensed and you have it all boom, boom, boom.
I'm going to bring you. Listen, I'm inviting you down here. You get to
I appreciate
Bears.
that.
we'll take you out since you're so close. Are you over the Tappan Zee Bridge or the GW to Connecticut? Claudio interrupted my question.
I have no.
You've never
fucking
been to
idea.
Connecticut, have you?
I'm in northern New Jersey, so whichever way. I don't go to Connecticut. No, I don't. I've been there, but I don't go there. Right?
You got a couple of Braggs. He reminds me a little bit of Braggs.
Well, I hope not, because I was told he's not that smart.
Yeah. Well, no, but when you first came on the screen, somebody in the chat was like, "That's a better looking Braggs."
Better looking, certainly. I'll take that every day.
That was actually Brad's mother that said it. Barb said
That's
it.
terrible. That's terrible.
She knows her son's ugly.
To take over the North and never give it back.
That's
Amen
right.
to that. Amen
Take
to
over
that.
the North and never give it back. Listen, Mikey Beardown, cuz I truly appreciate. I always develop really good friends from meeting people on the show, and I was really. I never know. I told my wife's like, "Who you having on?" I go, "We had 2 guests tonight. First guy's this Mikey Beardown, cuz on Instagram." I was telling. I go, and then Jason McKie, former fullback of the Bears. I go, I never know. It could be an argument going on tonight. We never know, but you fit right in. As Jackal, our producer, he's like, I can listen to you 3 talk all night. That's a compliment from this guy. He's got his own fantasy show, for God's sake.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good. How you doing, pal?
Doing all right, man. Fucking A, a sultry voice from New Jersey. Love it.
You got the Clark Griswold hat going for you? Looking
sir.
good. Looking good.
Those books behind.
Did you read all those books behind you?
Every single
fat head. That's a fat head. That's a fat head.
Oh, it is a fat head? That's a great idea.
He's studious.
Hey, books on Amazon.
I only got like 4 books behind me. And a Star Wars.
You probably read those, though.
Yes, yeah, I did.
At least you read them.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on. We got to continue.
Get you back during the draft. You get into the draft pretty good, Mikey?
Yeah, I love the draft. I have a draft party every year. It's one of my things that I do. So I really enjoy it. But no, I had a great time, legitimately, because sometimes, I agree with you, Phil. You come on some of these things and it's like,
oh, yeah.
Oh my God, when is it going to end? I'm looking at the clock now. I'm like, holy shit, I could have done that. We could have kept going for another couple hours, no problem.
Exactly.
So whenever you guys are ready, we'll do it.
Sounds like you're describing One Up Fantasy.
I'm not gonna laugh.
That's just a shot. That's just a shot.
I figured as much. I figured.
Take them when you can get them.
That's it.
We do have a Jackal highlight for you.
Can only imagine the smells coming out of that thing, but
Oh shit.
There you go.
I'm not going to delve into that too much.
Exactly. Well, anyway, thank you so much. Follow my man at Beardown Cuz on Instagram. Give him a shout. Let him know you followed him from TTNL. I appreciate you jumping on tonight, talking some Chicago Bears.
Peace.
Chicago Bears.
Thanks, boys.
Have a great night, Mike. Mike Beardown, cuz I love this dude. Seriously,
I like him a lot.
Somebody was getting on me like, you love everybody. I go, oh fucking no, I don't. I say I love somebody, it means I love somebody. I'm not afraid that I'm gonna be, at 48, I'm not afraid to say that I love people. I think humanity, I think we lose that so much in our phones. We lose it so much in trying to one up, no pun intended, Jackal, somebody. And I think it's true. Like, I've met so many great people from this network, from this show. Football in itself, I wouldn't even be the same person if it wasn't for football. But I think it's so important that us as men, and no offense to you ladies, because you have no issue telling people where to go, who to fuck themselves, and how much you love your girlfriends or your friends or your boyfriend or whatever. But men have this issue, and I'm here to try to change that. It's okay to tell your boy, listen, I love you, bro. This world is this world's a crazy place, man. I'm serious. Jackal, you've been through a lot in the past week. I'm telling you right now, I love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
And
Don't
Claudio,
don't get me going right now, man.
Claudio, Jackal has a few.
Poor Jason McKie is about 30 seconds from signing out. What the fuck?
What happened?
What's going on?
What the hell is going on? It's the man show. Listen, I love you fans, and to that fan that said that, and I know Cool Kennedy, look at him. There he is. I knew a pause was coming. But the reality is, I truly do. When I put my head on the pillow, I really believe that that's so important to let people know you care about them. In this world, you might not see that person again. So don't be that guy looking in the mirror. I should have. I would have. I didn't. I'm living a different life now. I'm living a different life. And I'm so proud of you fans and you people sharing our show, our network, and getting people like our next guest to come on here and say, hell fucking yeah, Olin has told me about these guys. The last time he was on the show, we had some technical difficulties. I blame Claudio. But this time, let's bring our guest out. You guys know him. If you don't know him, you're living under a rock. It's when the coach really appreciated the I formation. It was like, hey, I love the I because it fucking works. That's why you run the I, and you do whatever in your power to run the I and to run the football and put players in positions to be successful. It's about players, not plays. But he's also a head football coach now, so there's not going to be any goddamn way we can go out of this without the identity, the whys, and the understanding of the whys with our next guest. You know him, former fullback of the Chicago Bears. I love this guy too. I'm not afraid to say that. Number 37 in your program, number 1 in your heart. It's fullback Jason McKie.
This guy came to the Chicago Bears in 2003 and stayed for 7 seasons, where he played a position that Matt Nagy has most likely never even heard of.
Zero thought of running football.
To play the fullback position, you have to love the grind, love the true essence of the game.
Determination, pride.
All the while sitting back when all your hard work gets almost no attention from the media and fans.
Once again, if you're going to do it big. They came back from out and let's get what they want.
But the players know, and that's all that matters anyway.
Pride and the love of the game.
TTNL fans, Chicago Bears fans, let's get out our seats and show him TTNL loves fullbacks. Let's give it up for the guy that brought Temple Tough to Chicago. He's Jason McKie.
Blood pressure high. Can't take too many more of them, man. Got it done.
Yes, he got it done. We got it done. What's up, Coach?
Man, thank you for the intro, man. That's awesome. You know, fullbacks don't get a lot of love. Still don't to this day. But the intro was awesome. So I got to tell Brother O, man, in our podcast, we're definitely lacking in terms of the intro. And we'll never be able to top what you guys have been able to bring to the table. We can only try to emulate it, but there's only one, and that's you guys. So I appreciate you guys, and thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, of course. I mean, we've been trying to get you on, obviously.
Yeah.
You're coaching. You're doing one of the best Bears podcasts out there with you and Olin. You obviously know Olin and our relationship. I think him and David Kaplan are neck and neck for coming on our network and our show like 7 times each. Always bringing the thunder and
you don't have to take that with a grain of salt, Jason. we're talking serious, bro.
We love Olin here.
Oh man,
and we love the game of football. In fact, I was the first guy on record. We've checked this stat to say Olin needed to be hired as the president of football operations, somebody that administered the defense, if you will, of what was going on in that front office. And I think that's where we got to start, only because we got to catch up with the coach, because that's what I'm going to be calling him all night, coach. Every time high school football, you know, oh, you just coach high school. They don't get it. There's a lot of shoe fucking salesmen up in the NFL. High school football is about the fundamentals, about teaching a boy to become a man and really being the person who personifies a foundation of youth. I just talk about that real quick. What it's like to coach on the high school level is like nothing. As you've been an NFL player, you played at Temple, you were Temple tough. So you've had the whole gambit of coaching. So talk about high school coaching real quick.
Yeah, man. I mean, high school, it's definitely a blessing to be able to, you know, coach the game of football to young adults, you know, to guys who are going to grow up and change the world. And it's a great way to prepare them for life than through the game of football. We know the game of football, it teaches us life lessons. You know, it teaches you how to be a good teammate. It teaches you the value and the beauty of competition. And it teaches you how to work hard and how to grind and how to continuously grind and then to take everything that you've grinded for and to put it out there on the display, whether that's on the football field. And then as you become an adult, you know, to take that grind that you put in to be successful in, you know, maybe one day owning your own business or being a CEO or a lawyer or a doctor or anything like that. It just teaches you life lessons and prepares you for life. And for me to have the opportunity to be a head football coach and to help impart in these young men, to help grow them into men on a daily basis. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. It's definitely a blessing. And you know, it's not just me, it's my staff. We got a great football staff. I mean, everybody has the same mindset, and that's our kids. You know, our kids are our number one priority, not just in the game of football, but overall. You know, we care about our kids as people and not just football players. And I'm at a great school. The community is awesome. You know, we have a lot of resources. It's a really a good high academic school. So, you know, academics is of the utmost importance. That's the number one thing in our program is academics. Nice. And, you know, I tell our kids all the time, Phil, I say, hey, look, if I can't trust you in the classroom, well, guess what? Your ass ain't gonna be playing on the field. So
accountability, coach.
Accountability, man. And that's one of the things. That's one of the things that's in our handbook. You know, when I have my parent meeting, I said, hey, the best abilities is accountability, dependability, and reliability. If you don't have one of those three, you can't play for me. And if you don't have one of those three, you're not going to be successful in life, as we know. So, you know, it's definitely a great opportunity to be in this position to impart in the kids. And you know, we've been having a lot of results. And there's nothing like being a high school coach because you get to mold young individuals and mold them into adults.
Let me piggyback off that. Just my dad, I don't know if you know, is a Hall of Fame head football coach here in the state of Connecticut. They named a stadium after my dad, and that's where I learned the game of football, obviously, and coaching. So you, as a head coach, you know, Shayne, I'm going to not swear for this segment because I got to think Coach Mac, parents, I got to think like that. But truthfully, talk about as a head coach, forget your Bears love for a second, but you're sitting there watching the Chicago Bears under Coach Nagy. Talk about it from that angle of your perspective. What did it mean to you to watch this guy be the head coach, especially the last 4 years?
Yeah, you know, he came out the gate hot. You know, he came out, obviously got Coach of the Year, and obviously everybody here in the Chicagoland area, we were real excited. You know, and then it just spiraled down from there. And you know, it's tough as a head coach. I mean, you know, it's a thankless job. And you go in, you're preparing all week. You know, you don't get no sleep. You're preparing damn near 24 hours a day. You know, there's never a time to where you're sitting still. If you're sitting still, you're lacking in one area. You're not doing your job. So, you know, to see the way they struggled, I think it wore down on him. Obviously, Chicagoland's a big market. And if you're not producing, the media is going to be all on you. You know, the fans are going to be all on you. Alumni, we're going to be all on you. So I think that really wore him down. But I think he lost sight of, you know, what he wanted in his team. And, you know, every week he came on his press conference and he talked about the whys, the why this, the why that. And, we never really got an answer to the whys. Even during the game, some of the play calling and the way he managed the game, we're asking ourselves why. Why did you make that call? Why did you make this play?
There was a lot of whys.
Yeah, a lot of whys. And I like Coach Nagy. I've met him a bunch of times. He's a great human being, man. And he wanted to come here and do a good job. And for the most part, starting off, he did. Towards the end, it fell off, and I think it just unraveled. And I think that as a head coach, you have to live your philosophy. You have to live your identity. You have to live.
Thank you.
You have to be the image of your team or of your program. Yep. So if you're telling, you're constantly saying, "Hey, we're going to be a tough team. We're a tough-minded team," and then, hey, you're walking around and you're all soft and shit, and you're letting the guys get away with this. Well, they're not going to buy in. They're not going to buy in. If you come out and say, "Hey, we're going to be a smart, detail-oriented team," but then, hey, you forget to install the goal line, or you don't know what you're going to call on third and short, well, then we're not going to buy in. You have to live and breathe your culture. You have to be a walking example of your culture on a daily basis. And trust me, even in high school, we have a mindset, we have a philosophy of what our program is supposed to be like. And I have to be able to walk that every single day. And not just me, my coaching staff knows they better walk that culture that we have on a daily basis. So that way, if one of our players sees it and one of our coaches or myself isn't doing it, well, hey, I want my players to call us out and say, "Hey, coach, you know what? This guy is late to meetings. You say we're going to be tough, detail-oriented. Why is he getting to come in this meeting and he's late?" No, coach, we need to kick him out because he's late to a meeting, and that's not a part of our culture. And when you have that type of culture embedded in your organization or your program, your players will uphold the culture for you.
So well said. The team is a reflection of the head coach.
Exactly.
That was Phil Atoshin Sr.'s first lesson to me. They're you. If you have a great player and you let him slack, you've let down all the other players. You got to hold everyone at that same standard. And then, just like you said, including your coaches. It's too many times we saw, I won't use the word, but the wussification of the Chicago Bears with Fetty yelling at the rookie. And it just was a culture of chaos, I called it. From Anthony Miller and Javon Wims to how they treated Justin Fields against the Browns, not having a chip, not having, there's common set football 101 is being just missed, and you just couldn't believe it.
Telling us, J-Mac, that you don't have rotating captains on your high school team?
Well, no. Hey, and the thing about it is, right, and I don't want to knock somebody's philosophy, that's his decision, but I feel like if everybody, right, you start out on the same platform, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And it's the individuals who elevate themselves into that role, into that captain's role. So everybody starts off in the same playing field. You earn that honor. You earn that honor. In the NFL, you earn that honor to wear that C on your jersey. You earn that honor to call yourself a captain. And if you haven't earned it, well, guess what? You better try to earn it next year. And if your captain is if he's not upholding that honor, if he's not upholding those captains' responsibility, well, then guess what? You've got to have the culture in which you can say, hey, he's got to be replaced because he's not embodying our culture. He's not he's not a walking example. He's not a true captain. But no, in my opinion, there's no way in hell that you should be, rotating captains, because not to say, some of the guys haven't earned it. Now in high school, if it's senior night, well, guess what? I got all my seniors were captains, but it's a special occasion. They're not going out there every week. I'm not changing, okay, this guy's a captain, this guy's a captain. Again, guess what? That just shows you, to me, it just shows that, there is no true leader. There is no true captain, and you can't make up your mind on who the captain is. So if you got 5 captains and you're changing it every week, you don't have one. You ain't got in.
A couple of the times the captains weren't on the team 2 weeks previous.
Yeah,
Bruce Irvin was on the practice squad.
I've never seen, and I don't know if this happened, and I may just be, talking crap or whatever. I'm not trying to, but I mean, you got an inactive guy in a sweats and he's a captain. Like, come on, man. Like, if I'm on the team and
disrespect.
If I'm on the team, that's I'm looking at it like, are we serious here? We're getting ready to play the Packers, and this guy's out there doing the coin toss, and he's got on Nikes. You know,
Right.
I mean, he's out there in sandals. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, and just coming from the type of culture that we had in our building and the type of leaders that we had in our building. I mean, you knew who the captains were. You knew who the leaders were. If there was an issue, you know who you went to, and you know who was going to bring it each and every day, who was going to set that standard. And it didn't have to, it wasn't Lovie who you know, Lovie was living, he was living that culture, but at the same time, Lovie treated us as men. Yep. And he put it on the captains that we had in our locker room.
Exactly.
To live and breathe that culture. And we knew as players that when we looked and we saw that captain walk in our locker room, he was going to hold everybody to that standard. And that captain knew that we were going to hold him to that standard.
That I don't think fans, fans know. I think it's a mic drop.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's honesty.
It is honesty, and it's something listen, we keep it 100 here. That's what this show is. Obviously, you know, we love the game of football, and the goal is to better the Bears. I thought Matt Nagy, and I'll say it for you, when you don't have a culture, a foundation, and have those consigliares, as I'll call them, that are in your locker room that have established. This kid could have been a rookie, but he just showed up, and everybody and their brother knows, hey, this kid is a leader. And maybe it's not this year, but it's next year. But you understand he's an extension of what it is your culture is, your identity. There was so many issues that we saw with that. And obviously everybody can bury Nagy now and what have you, but we stood that ground even in 2018 saying, listen, this is Vic Fangio's 39 turnovers. Let's not get this twisted. This guy can't even figure out Jordan Howard should be given the ball. And exactly. And then it passed the baton to David Montgomery. Have you ever witnessed in your professional career, maybe with Lovie you did, but a freaking running back hit it for 15 and then say, okay, come put in Cordero Patterson or put in Tariq Cohen after this dude just hit it for 15. It wasn't even blocked right, but he hit it for 15. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I've never seen it. And I'm thankful for, you know, the coaching staff that we had, because they were open to listen to what we would present them, what we were seeing on the field. And granted, we weren't offensive coordinators back then, but we were on the field. You know, we were going through the process. We were in the trenches. So we could see things, and we would always come off the field every series and discuss what we saw. Or in practice that week, you know, we would all discuss what we saw on film. And, you know, we had a good offensive coordinator where he would take heed of that and implement that into the game plan. You know, it wasn't like he just we would say things, he would ignore us, and if it's 3rd and 1, he's, you know, coming out and empty. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, man, please no. But
Demo's on the sideline coming out empty.
And you know, and the thing that you know, we had a lot of alpha males in our locker room. So I think that in that situation, if there was a situation where it was 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2, and, you know we should run the ball, and our offensive coordinator wanted to call a pass, well, hey, you know what? Thomas Jones, he would have came off the sideline and kicked some ass. You know, Olin Kreutz, Reuben Brown, you know, all those guys, those alphas that we had in that locker room would have came up and like, hey, what the hell are we doing? We're going to run the damn ball anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of guys that we had. And not because, you know, we were selfish, but because that's the type of guys that we had in our locker room. We had guys that knew what it took to win. We had guys that was willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team, for their brother, for the man next to him. And we had guys that just, you know, were so proud to wear that jersey. We're so proud to be a part of Chicago, that was so proud to play in front of their fans, that, you know, we were willing to do anything it took to win for our fans. And, you know, obviously, you know, going back to the Super Bowl, we fell short. And, you know, that haunts all of us to this day. You know, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about, you know, not winning the Super Bowl And, you know, not just for me, but for the fans of Chicago, for the city of Chicago. And it hurts me to the core. And, you know, it really hurts me to the core. And it hurts all of us. You know, I can speak for every individual in that locker room. It hurts us to the core. You know, even watching the Super Bowl, it was the first few years, it was painful to watch because you're like, man, you know what? Like, damn, you know, we were right there. We had an opportunity to bring it home where it's supposed to be. And we fell short. So I think that's why now you see so many alumni and guys doing podcasts, because we don't thrive off negativity. We don't get our rocks off by talking trash about the Bears. You know, we talk about it and we try to, you know, talk about solutions and identify problems.
Exactly.
We want things to be fixed. You know, we live and breathe Chicago. I mean, my whole wardrobe is Chicago Bears. I still live here. Olin still lives here. There's a lot of guys that still live here. My kids were here. You know, this is home.
Coach is giving me goosebumps because I know it's real talk.
Yeah, it's real talk, man.
Olin is like that. I mean, he said it to me. I come on your show because you do what we do. You guys could just swear.
Yeah.
And I like that. And Olin is great because of what you're talking about. It's in your blood. I know when I listen to your show that Coach Mac gives a shit about the Chicago Bears. That's the real. And that's what, you know, we are here. And that's why I wanted you on this show so bad. Because I know just there's a mic drop moment tonight. Whoever's pulling a clip when he's talking about that that's what football's all about.
Yeah.
You came on, you were backstage, and I was talking about love and men not being able to share that. I know you love the kids that you coach. I know that.
100%.
100% because you want to win. Of course, it's embedded in your alpha genes as the player that you were and are. But you also have a job to do that says, this is my team. It's my responsibility. Put them in the best positions to help them succeed. And if that's putting a guy at right tackle, even though he feels more comfortable at guard, then you know as the coach, you're doing something great for that kid. And when he gets it, he's like, wow, this was the best thing that anyone's ever done. That's the kind of stuff that I believe real coaches like yourself do. And tonight, for you to share that with us, I think it's very important because we've seen a terrible presser and 2-3 terrible pressers and new coaches. And obviously the grain of salt comment, I hate it. But here we are. Here we stand with Ryan Poles and Eberflus, who's bringing the 4-3, the Tampa 2, Lovie style. He credits Tony Dungy all the time. When you look at this roster, this team, are you excited about this new coach, or are you just going to fold your arms and say, listen, I got to believe it to see it?
Yeah, you know what? I know, you know, it still remains to be seen. You know, I think Eberflus, I think he does have what it takes from a being able to transform culture, so to speak. You know, he comes from, you know, being with Chris Ballard, who's a GM for the Indianapolis Colts, who's a really good friend of me and Olin's. Chris Ballard is an amazing GM. I wish he was here in Chicago. And that's not throwing a shot at Ryan Poles. You know, I feel like Chris Ballard should have been here to begin with. But he went next door to Indianapolis, and you see what he's done there. But Chris Ballard is an outstanding, you know, outstanding evaluator. He's an outstanding GM. He makes himself available. You know, I text him from time to time and get, you know, tips from him, and he texts me right back, even though he's a GM. You know, that's the type of guy that Ballard is. And I know the guys that Chris Ballard has in his organization, you know, can do great things. So it was good to see a guy who came from that type of organization in Eberflus, because he knows what it takes to be successful. So, you know, I think it remains to be seen. You know, like we've been able to
saying the right things, right? As far as his foundation of what he's sending a message to the guys that are on the team and potential free agents that we are going to be a loafs team. You know about loafs.
Definitely.
You were part of that. Maybe you can explain that, what that is for fans of the show.
So basically a loaf, and, you know, I know, you know, a lot of people just associated with defense. So I'll go with defense first, and I'll explain it from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, a loaf is if you're not around the pile after the play, that's a loaf. If you're not pursuing the ball, that's a loaf. You know, if even with Lovie, if the ball's on the ground in practice and you're not picking it up, even though you know it's not a fumble, that's a loaf.
Yes.
Whether the ball's incomplete, whether it's just on the ground, that's a loaf. If you're not trying to strip the ball or punch the ball out, that's a loaf, you know, in terms of defense. Offensively, we had loafs as well, and on special teams. You know, if you didn't as a running back or a fullback, if I'm not around the pile when our running back gets tackled, it's a loaf. You know, if I'm not downfield trying to make a block after, you know, the receiver catches the ball, it's a loaf. And those are things that, you know, you have to embed in your culture. Those are things that we had on all three phases. And special teams, you know, with Dave Tobe, if you didn't finish in a winning position, you know, he didn't call it a loaf, he called it uncle. You know, if you didn't finish in a winning position, he would say the opponent, he was your uncle. You know what that means? If you didn't finish in a winning position, you know, so those are things that, you know, that was embedded in us. And it just didn't show up on film during the game. It showed off continuously in practice every single day. You know, I don't know how many times, you know, if me and Thomas Jones, we catch a pass or running the ball and we're going back to the huddle, and mind you, the play is over. But guess what? In the huddle, Peanut Tillman's in the huddle while, you know, whoever the quarterback was calling the play, he's trying to punch the ball.
Exactly.
You know? And was it annoying at times? Yeah, it might have been a few fights here and there, but at the same time, it made us both better. You know, it made me more conscious that, hey, I got to secure the ball, you know, whether all the way back to the huddle if I have to. You know, Peanut's working his craft, punching the ball out. That's why he's the best to ever do that, you know, and it just made everybody better. And that's what you want from an organizational standpoint. Everybody's got to be on the same page, whether it's the head coach all the way down to the coordinators, to the assistants. We talk about it all the time on our podcast, down to the nutrition staff, down to the strength coach, down to the equipment manager, down to the training staff, down to the security guard that's let you in and out the gate. It's got
Medlin was hustling.
Hey, Medlin had that heavy utility belt.
Screwdrivers. He had the thing to clean out the cleats. He had every tool on him.
He's prepared. He's prepared because, hey, if somebody has a blowout on their cleat or their shoulder pads, right?
Yeah.
And T-Med doesn't have his utility belt and he can't fix it right there. Well, guess what? Now you got to have Brian Urlacher go into the locker room during the team period.
Hunter Hillenmeyer's slow on the zone.
Right. He's got to get his, you know, Urlacher's got to go in and get his pads fixed. And then, you know, you delay practice and now we're wasting time. You know, it's just, I mean, you're the elite of the elite. So you got to be elite in every aspect of your organization.
There was a lot of loafs, Shayne, on the football field last season.
Yeah.
Led real quick because I know we got a bunch of questions in the chat. We have almost 438 people listening live right now to J Mac, Coach Mac, former Chicago Bear fullback, but also head coach, Mount Carmel High School, correct?
Carmel Catholic High School.
Carmel Catholic. Yeah, there's a Mount Carmel here in Connecticut.
There's
a
Mount
Carmel there too.
There's a Mount Carmel here. Yeah, there.
Oh boy,
Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, Donovan McNabb and Jordan. So Jordan Lynch.
Oh, we lost him for a second. He'll come back on. I'll text him that he got disconnected, but you're listening right now. TTNL, Jason McKie, Coach Mac. Here he is. He's right back.
I don't know what happened.
Tony Medlin happened. He was fired up.
Olin said it was that goddamn Adam Hogue again.
As soon as you mentioned Mount Carmel, it kicked me out.
I messed it up.
It turned off, man.
My bad on that. But yes, Coach Jason McKie, former Chicago Bears fullback. Let me ask you this, then Shayne, rock and roll. I know you probably have a Hall of Fame question or something in your pocket, but let me ask you this. Allen Robinson, be honest now. Here he is, an extreme talent. The Bears bet on him coming off of an injury with the Jaguars. They paid him, obviously. They franchise tagged him $18 million. I'm watching his tape. I'm seeing loafs. I'm just keeping it 100. Plays away. You're the head coach now coming in. You're Eberflus or you're Getsy. Do you want an Allen Robinson on your football team, or did what he did, do you kind of like look at what was going on, the culture that was, and sit down and talk with this guy? Or do you say, you know what, this is who you are when shit hits the fan. I don't want that moving forward. What do you do?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. If you look at Allen Robinson's his entire career as a whole, I mean, he's been a fantastic receiver. Obviously, he was a fantastic receiver here in Chicago, except for last year. And I think last year is a direct correlation with the scheme, which the way he was used. How many times have we seen, Allen Robinson and take a shot with Allen Robinson? I mean, we saw Allen Robinson on 10,000 curl routes this year. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, just be honest, based upon the coverage you're getting, it ain't going to work. So when you have
let's throw curls. There it is.
You scared me with that. I was like, man,
we got drops on this show.
Yeah,
never know when Claudio's going to throw a drop in. Good job.
But yeah, I think with him, he was so frustrated with the scheme and the way he was used. He took plays off. He wasn't interested. And if you're a number one receiver, if you're the go-to guy, and as an offensive coordinator, you can't find ways to scheme and get your number one receiver open, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Now, on Allen Robinson's side, you're a football player. You got to play football regardless of what the scheme is. So if the coach asks you to run, the 50th curl route in the game, well, then you got to run that 50th curl route with the same effort and intensity that you ran your first curl route in.
Exactly.
And that's where I think Allen Robinson went wrong. But I think he's still a great receiver. I think he still will be a very productive receiver. Me personally, and I don't have the inside information, I don't think he will be back. I don't think he wants to be back. I think he'll be gone. But I think wherever he goes, you're going to see that old Allen Robinson. And next year we're going to be like, damn, why did he do that? Why did he do that last year? Well, he didn't have the opportunity to do it. That's why.
Well, real quick, shouldn't that be Ryan Poles' goal right now? Because you got a good number 2 in Mooney. That guy plays to the whistle. He blocks. He catches. Obviously, I don't think he's a number 1. We talked about this before you came on, but you're missing that guy on the other side, that stud. And Allen Robinson has been that. So is it something that Eberflus and Poles should make a priority and say, hey, we get that you were upset with that culture, or is it just something that you just turn the page?
You know what? Out of respect, I think you do maybe have that conversation. But at the same time, you got to look at what free agents are out there. What guys you feel can, you can't look at it in terms of scheme, but you got to look at free agents in terms of the main thing is the same thing that we talked about when we started this program. What guys fit your identity? What guys fit your culture? What type of guys do you want in your locker room? And then you talk about the scheme second. So I think that's the type of evaluation that Poles and, that organization, that front office need to be doing when they're looking at these free agents. So you got to look at, who's out there in free agency. Obviously, we know Devontae Adams. We know he has a relationship with Getsy.
Yeah.
I think Chris Godwin's available. A lot of good talent that's going to be available. But you got to look at the personality. Do these guys fit the identity that we're trying to instill here in Chicago?
Allen Robinson would be a no.
Well, if you're talking about Los,
just keeping it on,
no, right? Basically, last year.
Exactly.
I mean, how can you talk about we're not going to be a team that loafs, and then you watching film and you got 500 loafs, and you say, you know what, he's our number 1. So scratch your head like,
exactly.
All right,
that's why I asked you, Coach, and you hit it out of the park again, Jackal. Time stamping that. Go ahead, Shayne. I'm sorry. I know you got something up your sleeve.
Oh no! Just you brought up Ryan Poles, Jason. I'm interested to know. We've seen a couple of articles about him reaching out to some Bears alumni and kind of repairing that fractured relationship that has. He's waiting on that. Is he calling you right now?
I'm just a fan. I'm not.
hasn't gotten to the fullback depth chart yet, Jason.
he won't get to the fullback either. I told you, man, we don't get no love, man.
We gotta get the fullback some love, Shayne. We love you here.
But just as a Bears alumni, and I know the whole mess with Olin, but like he reached out to Jimbo Covert, and the the whole Phil Emery, Brian Urlacher fracture, and it started way back then. Have you heard from any of the other guys? Maybe as if Ryan Poles has reached out to anybody else, or are you confident that whole situation can be kind of smoothed over, where it is kind of an open door policy for you guys to get back up there and get things straight the way that they need to be with integral pieces to Chicago Bears history? I mean, you guys were a Super Bowl team and almost did it, and I look back at that now, and I mean, just as us fans, we weren't there every day like you guys were, but it bothers us as a fan base, to listen to you and Olin talk about it, and just the way that all that shit goes down. But are you confident that Ryan Poles is going to be the guy that can repair that fracture with the alumni?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't heard of I don't know who he reached out to. That doesn't mean he hasn't reached out to guys. Yeah. Just because he hadn't reached out to me, I don't know if he's reached out to Olin or any of the other guys. But I will say this, and I'll go back, and it's not just on the Bears defense. It's honestly, the Bears do have an alumni department that's really good. Yep. Kate Rackow, Jessica Keys, my guy Matt over there. They do a tremendous job of doing the alumni golf outing. They have various events in which we do go to Halas Hall. We have alumni gear that they send us every year. They do a tremendous job, and I'm not going to lie, that department, hands down, is the best in football. There's not a lot of organizations that have a strong alumni department like the Bears do. Now, in terms of the Bears reaching out and just having our insight on things like that, that hasn't been done in the past. As you see what Jimbo said, he hasn't heard from a coach or a GM, and at the same time, and in the GM and the coach of defense, hey, they're worried about the now. They're worried about the present. They're worried about putting a productive team on the field each and every Sunday. But at the same time, as an alumni, I would love to have the opportunity to, give my opinion on what I see. I know Olin, as you see, he gives his opinion, and a lot of the times he's dead on. We watch film all the time. Me and Olin, we're watching the all 22 of every game, watching it like we're playing, because that's what we're used to doing.
Game Pass screwed us over, Coach.
Yeah, they did, right? They did us so dirty.
Oh, terrible. They did us very dirty, Coach.
Did us dirty, man. But that's a part of our livelihood, watching film. My wife gets mad at me because she says, "Hey, you know what? All you do is watch football," and I'm like, "That's my TV. That's my TV. I don't watch TV. I watch football."
And that's important. That's what makes you a great coach and a great analyst on the Chicago Bears, which you are, because you're well-informed. You're well-informed. I'm getting pictures of you. Look at this. Jason McKie, keeping it 100.
Oh, man, that's a good picture,
TTNL, man. Look at you.
Wow.
Again, our producers are producing
fullbacks
on the
matter
go.
at TTNL, Jay.
Fullbacks matter. Can we put that, Corey? Can we put fullbacks matter on this? That's what we need. Add that.
I wish you could put like an afro on me, man, because I miss your hair, man.
We got some talented.
Coach, we don't want
some talented artists.
Keep it 100 here, unless you're wearing You're wearing a wig.
Waves and everything. Now, I get older, man. Your hair don't look right no more. You got to shave it all.
Coach, let me ask you this. I thought Shayne, so I'm going to take the layup here. Devin, Hester, you played with this football player. Were you shocked that he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, so, Devin is one of my best friends. We talk almost every week. Our families go on vacation together. He was, I was around when his kids were born. His wife and my wife were best friends. Awesome. And, the whole day, the funny thing is, I think I was more excited than he was. I'm calling him like, "Hey, did you hear anything?" And he was really upset. He really was. He was hurt to the core after the fact that when it came out that he wasn't going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He really was hurt, and he was trying to find an understanding of why. And there wasn't a why. I don't.
Matt Nagy didn't.
And I don't want to sound like Matt Nagy, but I just don't understand how you have a player that changed the game. He's one of the only players to do what he did. And when you look at the rule changes in the NFL, I mean, that's a direct correlation of what he did.
Exactly.
And if we didn't have a Devin Hester, you look at the way he impacted the team. If we didn't have Devin Hester, there's no way in hell we're in Miami at the Super Bowl. And then look at what he did in the Super Bowl, but throughout that entire season and throughout his career. You know, it's unbelievable that he didn't get in, and he was really pissed about it. But at the same time, you know, he understands that he is going to go in, so he's proud. He's proud that he is going to go in one day. You know, I know it meant a lot to him to go in as a first ballot, but you know, me and him having that conversation, I say, you know what, you're a Hall of Famer in life. You're a Hall of Fame dad. You're a Hall of Fame friend. You know, so don't even worry about it. You're going to go in. You're going to get what you deserve.
My father and I were talking about it. This was my quote: if any player or any person changes the rule of the game, by the definition of that, they are a Hall of Famer. Devin Hester, to me, made people lose sleep. My uncle Larry Pasquale was a special teams coordinator for the Jets, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Chargers. He had Ronnie Harmon. He had Vi Sikahema, Nate Lewis. He had all these kick returners. He said, Phil, Devin Hester is the very definition of why there is a Hall of Fame, Devin.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, every Bear, I thought it was a layup. This guy changed the game each and every time. And to your point, that Arizona game, everybody remembers.
Man.
I have my daughter in my arms. She was a baby. And I still can see it right now. This dude had that blue chip mentality that he was not going to be stopped. And teams were doing everything in their power to get the ball away from him. That, to me, the Football Hall of Fame committee dropped the ball immensely. That's not me being a Bears fan. If this dude played for the Chargers, if he played for the New England Patriots, I would be still saying the same thing. And because I love the game of football, you know, Joniak called him ridiculous. I call him tremendous. It's just, that's what it is.
And Devin, you know, a little story, you know, a little background story about Devin, you know, in the hotel the night before a game, you know, we're all in each other's room hanging out and, you know, relaxing, getting our mind right for the game. And, you know, I would go in there and me and Devin would talk and he'd be like, man, J-Mac, you know what? I'm going to take the first kick to the house, or I'm going to take a punt to the house. He's telling me this before the game happens. You know what I'm saying? Before the game takes place. And he goes out there and you see what he does. And I'm like, oh my God. Like he said he was going to do that.
He said what he was going to do.
He said he was going to do. And I would ask him, I said, Devin, I said, so, you know, before the ball's kicked, I say, like, what goes through your mind? And he said, you know what, J-Mac, he says, I already have a vision of what the return is going to be like based upon what's called. Like he already has a roadmap in his head of how the return is going to take place and what he's going to need to do. Like, I mean, the guy had that innate ability to be able to do that. And that's what made him great, because he would tell you what he was going to do. And when that ball was kicked, he did it on cue. And that's a Hall of Fame individual, because there will never be anybody to replicate what he did in terms of his career.
He's a football savant, as you're calling it, to be able to do that.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Shayne. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
We had Thomas Jones on here a couple of different times, and I asked him about it, but take us back to Miami. You know, the rain's coming down. What was going through your head at kickoff, and then you see 23 spring it? I mean, I think I tore both hamstrings jumping up out of my chair when he broke free on that. But I mean, Thomas Jones is like, oh my God, I'm like, we're winning the fucking Super Bowl. It's done. It's done. It's over. It's over. But what's going through your mind when you see that?
So normally, you know, the whole year I'm the middle up back on the kickoff return team, back where you could have a wedge. And the last game of the season, I think it was Detroit, or maybe the game before that, I don't remember. But I sprained my ankle, I had high ankle sprain. So throughout the playoffs, they took me off the kickoff return because being the only fullback on the roster, they don't want you to get hurt. So I was off kickoff return for the whole playoffs. And, you know, I remember being right there at the huddle. I actually tweeted a picture of this the other day of me of the kickoff return team huddling up with Dave Tobe, and I'm right there, a part of the kickoff return team, because I wanted to hear what the return was, and I was interested to see, Coach Dungy said, "Oh, we're not going to kick the Devin. We're not going to kick the Devin." And the funny thing is, two of my college teammates, Raheem Brock and Dan Klecko, played for the Colts.
That's right.
And they already told me, they were like, "Hey, don't believe what Coach Dungy says. We're kicking that shit to Devin. We're gonna test him." So I knew they were going to kick to him. So I had a front row seat, and me and Thomas Jones we're doing our pregame ritual. We're getting pumped for the game. We're headbutting each other. But then everybody, they're getting off. They're not sitting on the bench. They always want to see what Devin's going to do. So on our sideline, when it's a kickoff or a punt, nobody's sitting down. All eyes is focused on 23. So we're watching it, and he gets the kick, and you're like, wow, yep, they did kick it to him. All the lights are flashing. Everybody's taking pictures. I mean, he just made his move, and he cut upfield. And once he sticks that foot in the ground and he gets upfield, you know what time it is. So at that point, me and Thomas, we're like hugging each other, and I'm looking down at my ring finger, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking oh my god,
it looks so sweet.
God, and Thomas looking at me, and we're like, wow, we're excited. I was excited, and at the same time, like, man, you know what? Like, damn, we're not even gonna get to go on the field.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, this is a Super Bowl. We're not gonna get that first offensive series, and now, I think when he returned it, everybody had that feeling that, this game is ours. Because if you look at it throughout the season, when we had a special teams return for a touchdown, I don't know what the percentages was, but I know it was a high percentage that we were going to win that game.
Yeah, that was one of the most animated times I've ever seen Lovie. He was sprinting down the fucking sideline. His badge was going all around. He had his play sheet. Yeah.
Go, big guy.
Yeah.
Go, Hester. Let's go, big guy. I love you, big guy.
Were you the main imitator of Lovie for the team?
Man,
Who did him the best? Who did him the best?
Man, you know what? We had a lot of guys in that locker room with personalities, man. We had a great locker room, man. It was
I've heard Briggs do it quite a few times.
Man, everybody could do it.
Yeah.
Everybody could do it. Everybody could imitate each other, man. And we worked extremely hard, and we played even harder. And that's why a lot of us remain close friends to this day. A lot of us were young adults back then. Our kids grew up together. We grew up together, and it was just a phenomenal locker room and a phenomenal time to be a part of their organization.
Did you obviously Lovie's taking on this head coaching position in Houston. What do you think of that move? Obviously not Bears related, but what are your thoughts with Coach Smith taking over the Texans?
Yeah, I just hope they give him a real legitimate opportunity to do so.
Right.
Obviously his track record speaks for itself. He's had a lot of success in the NFL. If they give him an opportunity and he gets the right coordinators around him, Lovie will change the culture. He will have his handprint on that organization. And I think he can do a lot of good things. He's proven it, his time here in Chicago. He's proven it in the NFL, even when he was a defensive coordinator back in the day with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he can do a lot of great things. I think with the way the organization, that Texans organization is right now, you need some stability, and a guy like Lovie that could bring stability, that could bring a whole new type of identity to that organization, because that organization, is with the things that Watts. I mean, we know it's been a mess down there, and you have a guy in Lovie who can clean up that mess and really turn that mess into success.
I don't give a fuck that he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Smoke weed every day.
There's our barber right here, and
that's my intro.
This is his title, though. Even though he's a barber, and he's I'm
What's
sorry,
up?
there
What's
was
up,
it was a swear.
What's
He's a
going
big
on?
fan of yours, but listen, there's nobody in the country or the world that loves Rex Grossman more than Claudio the barber. So Claudio, do you have?
There he is. There he is.
Rexy.
Claudio, you have a question for him about? We could not have J Mac on the show. Closest guy.
Oh man,
to
putting me on the
Rex's,
spot.
took us.
All right, how about this? Between you and Olin Kreutz, he's in front of Rex. You're behind him. Can you get him on our show? That's all. That's my question. That's my question.
Man, you know what?
That's your question. Don't put pressure on me.
No. Listen, I mean, tell me about him. As you were talking about leaders in the locker room, he got a lot of shit in the media. I defended him every fucking day in the barber shop on Mondays after a fucking game. Oh my God, ESPN killed him. Just how was he in the locker room that people didn't see?
Rex was great. Man. Rex was definitely one of my favorite people. I like to say me and Rex grew up together when I came here. He was when I came here, I was going into my second year. Rex was a rookie, so it was we did a lot of things together. Every Monday night after a game, I'd hang out over Rex's house. And it was like being in college. We're hanging out watching the Monday night football game. We're like, J Mac, you coming over? I'm like, yeah, I'm stopping by, grabbing the 12-pack. We're going to watch the game, order pizza and wings. I mean, awesome. That was the type of guy Rex was, man. Everybody loved him. He was a pro's pro. He was one of the guys. He didn't put himself on a pedestal. I love playing for him, man. And he was intense. He prepared really hard. He went out there and, he tried to do his best for the organization. And I feel like a lot of criticism that he gets isn't his fault, and I know a lot of guys in our locker room feel the same way. We're going to stand up for each other, and a lot of things that he got blamed for, I don't think it was a direct correlation of it being his fault.
I think this is very fair that you, of all people, who was in the politics of football, the Chicago Bears have led the NFL in politics first. And it's unfortunate, at least for the last few years. There's the picture Jason's talking about.
Yeah.
You're listening on the podcast. Jason.
Look at that Rasheed Davis hair.
There's our boy. Leon Joe. Leon Joe,
baby. John Gilmore over there.
John Gilmore.
Yeah.
But J-Mac, before we go off of Rex, when
I want to ask him, Kyle Orton, there was that dynamic. Fans were like, you should have kept with Kyle. Lovie messed up. And you were in that locker room. You talked about the culture. You are a head coach now. In all honesty, keep it 100. Did Lovie make the right move in going back to Rex?
Yeah, I don't know, man. They both, I feel like they both, had things obviously that they could help us with. Kyle was great when given his opportunity. It was good to have both of those guys, at quarterback for us. But we just did, we followed suit. If Lovie made that choice, it was our job to go out there and execute regardless who was under center. And I think that's the way most of us looked at it. There was no guys saying, hey, Kyle should be in there. Kyle should be in there. Or, guys loafing at the fact that Kyle wasn't in the game. We went out and played ball. And regardless who was under center, it was our job to go out and execute and play ball and make their job easier.
Yeah, real quick, my issue with the next year after the Super Bowl was they get rid of Thomas Jones, probably the best offensive weapon we had. They didn't bring anybody else in on offense to help Rex. So how do you expect him to get better? So that's just my thing, I don't think they helped him and gave him a chance after his one season, his first season that he played. His first 2 seasons he was hurt. So he went to the Super Bowl with a great defense, of course, but that championship game, he made some fucking dime throws when we needed them.
Top of your fucking class.
You bring me on to defend Rex. I'm gonna fucking defend my boy.
I told you, Coach. This guy is the real defender. He won't give up his love for Rex. Hey, I respect it. He gave you the great commentary. Rex was a leader.
Yeah.
You never see Rex. You never see him. You never hear from him. He's a private guy. I know Kyle Orton walked off with a whiskey bottle and went to the horses and the stables. But Rex is this mystery.
Rex he's his own man. He's doing this thing. Going back to what you mentioned with Thomas Jones, and I'll touch on that a little bit. That was, man, that and honestly, that really
hurt, bro. That hurt. I love that.
That hurt bad. I think that was the downfall of our team right there. I know that was probably one of the biggest mistakes that Jerry Angelo made, in my opinion.
Yes.
It hurt me to the core. It hurt me to the core, man. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, man. And I cried like a baby when they got rid of Thomas Jones. We were that close. He was like an older brother to me, and we had that type of chemistry. And
another mic drop right there.
Being with somebody like that, like Thomas, who you go to practice with every day. You're in the same meeting room. You hang out off the field.
Yeah.
You're in the trenches. We've had success together. I don't know how many 1,000-yard seasons he had. I mean, it was just a good thing. And a guy who another guy who embodied Chicago, who wanted to be here, who had an overwhelming love and joy for the fans. Like, Thomas didn't care about how many yards or touchdowns how many yards he ran for, how many touchdowns he scored. He cared about going out there and putting it all on the line for the fans. He cared about the fans more than he did himself. And when you have a guy like that, he made all of us better. And me and Brother O and Cruz, we talk about it on our podcast a lot. We talk about multipliers. Guys who can come into a locker room, or guys that can join a team, right, that makes everybody else better, regardless of their ability. Thomas was one of those guys. He made everybody better. He made the offensive line better. He made me better. He made the receivers better. He made the quarterback better, because we knew, whether we had bruised ribs, a broken wrist, sprained ankle, sprained knee, he was going to go out there and he's going to play like a gladiator. And when you have a guy like that has that passion,
it's a great word for him.
That has that passion and that wears the same jersey as the great running backs that came before him, the Walter Paytons, the Neil Andersons, the Gale Sayers. You have another guy in line who embodies that passion and that determination to be great. I mean, we're going to go out there and we're going to give it all for him. Not just for him, but for the fans as well. And to get rid of a guy like that, that really hurt. That hurt me to the core. It hurt every single man in our running back room to the core. It hurt our offensive line to the core. It hurt Brother O to the core. And that was a tough time for us, because it was a matter of us not understanding. I'm not going to say the WH.
You did say it, but at that time, it's okay. You were saying.
We
why?
weren't understanding the reasoning of what was happening.
Jason, when you look back,
look at this. Fullbacks matter, Shayne.
Yes.
There we go.
Our producer, right on, our guy Corey Kennedy. Legends never die. I'm gonna send that over to you, J Mac. We love you here. I'm sorry, Shayne. I wanted to make sure the guy went out there and
Phil's got to get his 47 questions in.
I'm sorry. The fullback. This isn't a question. This is a showcase. Look at it.
The other 41 were. But anyways, what I was saying, you look back at the 05 draft and things, I mean, everybody knew who Thomas Jones was. He was still super young when they signed him as a free agent. 04 has a great year in 05. And actually, all things considered, I almost think your 05 team may have been stronger. I mean, obviously you didn't have Devin, but man, that 05 team was special to me. Just Steve Smith fucking wrecked that, but
man, he killed us, didn't he?
Yeah. But looking at that draft, Jason, just as I know some of you guys don't pay attention to it, but when you have Thomas Jones and you go out there and you see them invest in that position in the top 5, another running back, a guy, that's got to affect the locker room. I mean, to have you guys just asking questions like, man, we couldn't have went a different direction when we have this fucking animal, Thomas Jones, here at what, 25 years old, 26 years old at the time?
Yeah, it was real confusing. And it was confusing, obviously because of the success that Thomas Jones had and the type of person that I previously described that he was. But it was also confusing because we had another guy that was a dog in the backfield, and that was Adrian Peterson, a guy that a lot of people don't, really remember. I mean, anytime AP got in there, he did his thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was a hell of a Georgia Southern, man. So we had 2 great running backs in that room with Thomas and AP, and and then we just didn't understand it at that point. And Said, don't get me wrong, Said was awesome, man. Said was a great guy. I miss him dearly. Rest in heaven. Said came in, and that 06 year, as funny as it was, with their relationship kind of being, kind of funny, they made each other better. They made each other better. They had that mutual respect And it wasn't always said, but it was known that they had a mutual respect for each other because, you know, we knew that when Thomas went in there and he ripped off some big runs, that when Sed came in, he was going to try to match what Thomas did.
Yep.
And then if Sed went in there and matched what Thomas did, when Thomas came back in, he's like, well, shit, Sed just got, 5 yards a clip. I got to get 7 yards a clip. And they really complement each other really well. And that was evident of our running game, running it all the way to the Super Bowl. I mean, those two guys did an amazing job. I like to say they made me look better. brother always says they made him look better, but they were two solid backs that really complemented each other despite, maybe not having the best relationship. They did have a good relationship. It's not like they were hanging out every day, but they had that mutual respect. And, Cedric was a great runner. I think, as you see, even when he left the Bears, he went to Cincinnati and he crushed us.
Yeah.
And I remember
right on it with you. Look at right on time.
Destroyed us, man. I remember, so, me and Sed being close, and it's funny, like, me and Thomas was close, me and Sed was close, and I'm like in the middle, both of those guys. So it was interesting situation, but I can recall when we were going to play Cincinnati. And Cedric called me that week and he's like, J-Mac. I'm like, hey, Sed, how you like it? He's like, no, cut the bullshit. He said, I'm going to kick y'all's ass this week. And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, shoot. And Brother O, he'll attest to this. When we got to the hotel in Cincinnati, we walk in the lobby, we're getting our room keys, and guess who's sitting there in the lobby wearing sunglasses? It's freaking Cedric Benson. And we were like, wow, Ced's here. And the first thing he said, I'm telling you, J-Mac, just wait till tomorrow. And he ran for 200 yards against us, man. And And after the game, he just looked at me, and all I could say was, "Yeah, you did tell me, man." So you did tell me.
Well, Coach, we've had you on over an hour. I respect your time. If you want to stay for a little more, and people have some questions for you, and Shayne can get out his 41, he's taking shots at me.
Shit, I might get a couple too. Fuck it.
You already got it. Get him off. Get him out of here. But I just want to thank you for your time. Just all the best to you. We got to have you on here more if you can.
Definitely, man. I'm here, man, and I apologize for last time. I don't know what the hell was going on, but that's my fault, man. That's definitely a rookie mistake, I'll say, what happened last time. I don't know. And I had to hear about that shit from Olin for like 2 months.
He was telling me.
Now. Oh, man, he crushed me, man. Every time
That's why I love
he'd be like, J-Mac, man, you got to get rid of that DSL, man. Like,
dial up.
Oh, man, he killed me, man. He killed me. So. Well, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys do a phenomenal job, and I appreciate all the Bears fans that joined the broadcast. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys' support, man. And I'm yours. Anytime you guys want me back, I'm here. So keep up the good work, man. You guys got a hell of a thing going.
Got to get you back to break down some Ben Mason tape.
Yeah, maybe
we actually got a fullback on the roster.
Yeah, man,
maybe Ryan. We got Ryan and Matt back. Maybe we'll get a fullback back in this. And you were a great fullback. My favorite is you coming right at the defensive end and then brushing past him, looking over your shoulder, getting that 3rd and 2 every goddamn time, catching it, turning up the field, Shayne. That's a new thing. I miss those days. But anyway, Jason McKie. First time I called him Jason McKie tonight will be the last time. It's Coach Mac. All the best to you this season, but we're going to talk to you way before then. I want to hear your thoughts on the draft and everything like that. You do a tremendous job. Can I ask you one favor? Because we do it with all our guests.
Definitely, man.
Just a station ID, and that is your name. You put the No Name Podcast, whatever you want to put in there, and then I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies.
You got to read it like Olin in the M. Bajador readings for your podcast.
Oh, man. I kill it, man. I kill it. M. Bajador.
He does roll his R.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, man, you got the script right here, brother? All
right, I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1. You got a lot of love in the chat today. A lot of love. And then you say the script however you want. So just let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to isolate on him. All right. 3, 2, 1.
This is Jason McKie, former Chicago Bears fullback. You can find me on Twitter at JMac37. Love Chicago. Love the Bears fans. I went out there each and every play, not playing for myself, but playing for you guys. I love the love that you guys show myself, but also my former teammates and organization. We will get this thing turned around. I've been able to join a great podcast. My guys Phil and everybody doing it big over there at the Tape Never Lies. Keeping it 100 like we always do on the No Name podcast. Make sure you tune in. Myself, my former teammate, Brother O, Mr. Olin Kreutz, future Hall of Famer, and these guys doing a hell of a Hall of Fame podcast. So make sure you tune in each and every week, and the Tape Never Lies. Keeping it 100. It's your boy J Mac signing off. Love you, Chicago, and God bless.
Look at this. Awesome, John. No script. He's like me. He could just talk. You know a coach, Shayne. You know he's a coach. You know I had to get a lot of questions.
One take like Jay-Z. That's all I need, man.
Do you believe he doesn't write his raps? He just memorizes it? I don't know. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I think he writes.
Biggie or Tupac, real quick.
Oh, man, Phil, that's a tough one, man. I like them both, man. I really do.
Gun to your head. Gun to your head.
I'm gonna go Biggie.
Yes,
you go Biggie, man.
He's in the family. He could come back, and we're gonna get.
I want to use the gun to your head reference when we're talking about Tupac and Biggie. Probably not the greatest segue, but
best station ID ever. Factor one. Let's let him go though. I could talk to him all night. Get Adam Hogue to get his special teams. Stay in your fucking lanes. That's my.
Olin's holding them accountable every time.
Hold them accountable.
I always hear J-Mac in the background. You gotta stop, bro. You gotta stop.
Hey.
Oh man, you guys know it all. You guys know all the details.
Oh, we love you guys. I mean, we send everybody to your show because there's plenty of room on the internet for good non-narratives football talk.
We're gonna cut that Bajador clip and tag Olin on Twitter and send it out.
I think I'm gonna make it my ringtone.
I love you. He's Coach J Mac, Jason McKie. All the best to you. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Take care, fellas.
Thanks, man.
Jason McKie.
Good stuff.
Jason McKie. This guy right here producing in the background. Thoughts on Jason McKie?
Dude, a wealth of knowledge, man. I gotta say, some pretty good stuff talking about leadership, talking about I mean, he hurt Claudio's feelings ultimately, unfortunately, talking about Rex, but at the end of the day, that was a fucking awesome interview. I gotta say, Jason McKie following up Mikey Cuz is just a way to kind of cap the evening, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Mikey Cuz, Jason McKie, jam-packed show tonight. I got to agree with you. Mikey Cuz sent us some love, Shayne. He came back and he sent us some love. I don't know if Claudio, I know you guys starred that comment. There it is. Look at you.
I'm doing shit. Look
at Claudio doing shit.
I'm doing shit.
Great show. Great guys. I will comfortably say I'm reading for the podcast, Claudio. I love Shayne and Phil. Fuck it. Love yous. Thanks for having me, boys. So there you go. We building relationships. That's the TTNL. You can't just talk about it, as Cherie says in our meetings. You don't talk about it. We are about it. We are family. That's the reality. Jason McKie comes in here, feels right at home. I'm sorry I might have asked so many questions, Shayne. I apologize.
Holy fuck, bro. I was texting Jacqueline. I'm like, okay, we're 36 minutes in. I've tried 6 times to say something. Phil's like, oh, real quick, one more thing, and then you can ask about the Hall of Fame.
I thought you were going to ask him about Devin Hester.
Christ.
Speaking of Devin Hester,
real quick.
Then you ask 12 more questions after that.
Hey.
Hold on.
No, we can't play the Devin Hester.
Oh, we can't play that clip? All right.
No, because if you put the broadcast up,
Yeah,
okay.
Knock us. Ding us.
Ding us. Go back to not doing shit. You're gonna get us in trouble.
All right.
Only if you.
I tried.
If you delete the play-by-play and you just show it.
Oh, if you mute it?
I don't know. I don't want to take the chance because they shut down our show.
It's over with.
One time we had a Devin Hester clip. It was like what, 8 seconds, Shayne, right? It wasn't even
14 seconds.
The whole punt. It was just him catching against the Cardinals. And the broadcaster saying he's at the, and they clipped us. They shut down the whole show until Shayne had to like clip it, and it took what? It was 14 seconds, and it took 12 hours or something.
Oh no, it was more than that. It was like it was over a day. It's like 36 hours. It's crazy.
I'm so happy he chose Biggie as well, Dwight. Biggie all day.
Best part was gun to your head. I'm like, whoa.
I gotta get it. I wanted to get him on the record. It is too soon, I guess.
Oh, two great
what
guests.
Do you think?
Man.
Two great guests.
Both full of passion. Yeah.
Passion.
Unbelievable.
I didn't know what to expect from Mike. Beardown Cuz. But Adam Rank, shout out to my boy Adam Rank. He was right. He fit right in with us. I didn't even know he was from Jersey. Now we know. He's not. He's afraid of the Connecticut pizza, though.
Oh, he's never.
He's never had it.
To his defense, he's never tried it. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So he's got an Alex Acevedo. There he is. It's the only time he shows up when
he's trying to butter us up before the fucking meeting tomorrow. That's why.
You guys did a great job.
No, it's Jacob. It's fulfill.
That's it is fulfill. That was my rap name. Fulfill.
Fulfill.
There's an H after my name. CH.
Are we gonna get out of here at a respectable time tonight? Almost feels
are.
like that.
Listen, there's no dumbest tweets.
No, but you know what there is.
I've had a lot of people ask me, "Where's dumbest tweets?"
There's this girl. Look at she's sweating.
She's
already.
Sweating. She's got her script.
Did you get
No, we're very economical, my family.
Oh, wait, Shuri's on, so hold on.
I said, hey, oh, baby, oh,
bring that. Where's cards? You always got to do
Get in somebody's ass today.
We haven't seen that guy. He's probably with his wife.
Get in somebody's ass today.
This is what I play when Shuri's on.
Newest invention here is called the.
Is that too graphic?
What is your message to the fan base?
Newest invention here is.
And we've gone there.
Yeah. Shuri, are you ready to go? Are you ready to do this? Are you,
ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
All right.
Go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off.
Put her up on the big
screen.
This,
Shuri. You got this.
Oh, you got to get the big screen.
Like to be
We've had requests from all the single men.
Oh my God.
You fuck yourself.
I'm not doing that.
You got it.
Give some fucking name.
Who are those single men? Shuri.
I agree.
Give us names.
HR is
before she starts, Shayne, did you see that comment? Did you catch it about the Super Bowl and Shuri's relationship at the time?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, Shuri was
dating
dating a Colts fan at the time.
Oh, wait a minute.
You guys almost broke up.
We saw that.
You kicked him to the curb.
Well, I mean, he was ended up being a piece of shit anyway, but
was he from the region
that night?
Oh God, no.
Oh, I thought you did it that night.
No,
the legend of Shuri would just grow. You should say yes.
No, we were beefing the whole season.
We got to figure out how to unblock. Somebody blocked Thunder Girl.
Who blocked?
Let her know. Was not me.
Oh,
I apologize, Thunder Girl. I was trying to block the other little inappropriate comments, and your name was right there.
Oh,
You guys,
no unblock button.
Claudio, did you do it too? You did them at the same time?
No, I didn't. No, I just saw it got blocked.
all
She got
Shuri.
blocked. Sorry.
Way to go, Shuri.
Even though
Let's go in, Shuri.
It wasn't intentional. Thunder Girl, don't be mad.
You were just
you
were just complaining about it pre-show.
Shayne was just bringing her.
You're on the air, baby. You're on. You did.
Thunder Girl's on. She's on the air. What happened?
Cherie's like, that bitch don't know what's coming.
Oh my gosh, that's not true about the girl.
Yeah, Logan. You almost got blocked too. Buddy.
This is Claudio the Barber.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
Claudio's blocking everybody. You are the new Teven Jenkins. You can unblock via settings.
Yeah. It's more fun this way.
Jackal's blocking Logan.
Factor's letting us know how to unblock on the software that he has no idea what we're fucking using, but thank you.
We're using StreamYard, bro. It's totally different. Everyone's getting blocked. Oh my God.
Block brags.
Cherie.
Anyway.
You ready to go? You ready to do
Are
this?
you ready to go? Is there music for this, Shayne?
Yeah, Claudio's going to sing. And then...
I think we really...
Give me a beat, Phil. Give me a beat.
Next week, Claudio, we definitely should have like a jazzy, sexy instrumental playing in the background. We totally fucked this up.
I might be able to get that.
Sultry sounds.
Sultry. It's got to be free.
Here you go. Here you go. We got this right here.
That's factor one, how to get some free music here. Oh. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Sure.
Let's go, Cherie.
Oh my God.
For R. Kelly's new legal team.
Put her up on the screen. No. Put her up on the big screen.
Put her up, Claudio. There she
is. Let's go.
No pressure.
Welcome to the house of Cherie. She's going to tell you how to stay squeaky clean below the waistline. Cherie, tell the folks listening what they need to do next.
Support for Keeping It 100 is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped recently launched the ultimate hygiene bundle for the man in your life, ladies. After Valentine's Day, but you can still buy a just because gift. Help him join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you: 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SHYCITYSPORTS. If my math is correct, it is not, but that's about 8 million clean shaved balls.
Balls.
Their crop preserver ball deodorant and crop reviver ball toner is the hygiene routine he needs for his balls. It's like the skincare routine before his goodies down there. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring his comfort and boxers to another level. It's time to take care of the men you love, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code SHYCITYSPORTS. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SHYCITYSPORTS at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use SHYCITYSPORTS. Unlock his confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Balls. How many people are whispering right now? The pick is just Fields.
Awesome. Great job, Cherie.
You went from like a 14 to 100 right there.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Great job with the read.
I think we gained like 100 subscribers.
The music was the best.
I'm feeling.
You guys whispering.
What?
Again, doing a great job putting the music in the background that they give us. Oh my
That's called
God.
Feeding the Ducks, believe it or not.
Feeding the Ducks is the name of this title. Balls. We're feeding the Ducks balls. Let's hear Into Space real quick. Claudio.
That's where I was last week.
This is Into Space with Claudio, the barber. Into Claudio.
Oh, here, right. Hold on. I got something right here. Let's go.
is your song, dude.
Here
You
we
gotta
go.
talk over it. He doesn't get it, Shayne.
No,
This is your jam right here. It's called Into Space. My name is Florence.
This is the jam right here.
Oh my God, he's got
Phil,
his own
here.
thing.
I do. I got my own thing. Here you go.
His own thing.
all right.
This
do your
copyright, right?
That's some smooth jazz right there.
Oh, this is Pillow Talk with
thing.
Claude.
We don't need this. Jackal's gonna be shitting all over the place.
Where did Cherie go? There she
Cut it out.
Great job with the read, Cherie. Manscaped, guys, get over there. Your balls, your wives, and
That's right.
if you have
Valentine's Day is over. It doesn't mean that you want to let the fucking crop get out of control.
Listen, that was a lot of fun. I agree with Kane Stewart.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Hit that like button. In all seriousness, great interviews tonight with Beardown Cuz at Beardown Cuz on Instagram, and Coach, former fullback Jason McKie. Awesome jam-packed show. You guys did a tremendous job. The fans, all of you guys showing up. We had people, as Jackal said, tailgating in the beginning of the show, waiting for the show to start. I can't tell you how humbled we are with that. That's what everyone was saying with Claudio jazz music.
That's it. Cut it out.
Here we go. You know what happens. Some people cry at this time. Foster covers. Hit the like button.
Oh, Jesus.
You have one fucking job, right, Jackal? Hit the like button.
Hit the goddamn like button. Be a friend
Some
and
of
tell
you
a friend. Come on,
aren't
people.
subscribed to our channel. What are you doing? Also, become a patron. This week, X's with the O's. We're going to be breaking down Akeem Hicks. Me and my father. We are going to be talking about Akeem Hicks. Is he someone you have to resign? We're going to look at the tape. We're not going to look at some Blog Boys fucking made up algorithm stat to tell us that. We're going to look at Akeem Hicks tape. Me and my dad Saturday. And on Sunday, the draft is beginning. Real quick. Oh, yeah, real quick. The draft mob. Going to be this Sunday, breaking down the draft like nobody else does. We're going to look at some prospects, talk with you, take your questions on the draft. Shayne, myself, and our guy, George Bayless, Barelissimo, on Sunday. I thought we had a draft mob commercial that was there, but I guess it's not. There it is.
Now, with the 43rd pick.
His hips are square as well.
His eyes are right on the target.
Eyes are on the target. Watch his hand come up, takes the outside shoulder, then puts the inside hand on. His post leg is in the right position. He's got control of his guy. He's going nowhere. You can see Javon Holland there. He's obviously got more swag because he has 3 on his arm, whereas Thomas Graham only has 2. So you can. That's the way we do analysis.
So fucking, these blog boys are so fucking dumb. To have a confident cornerback that understands coverages and responsibilities.
That there should be any type of trust built up or say, hey, this move is going to alter the direction of this franchise.
Forget about it.
X's with the O's, draft mob, all this weekend, Claudio. TTNL never stops. Never stops. Claudio thought it was over. Although this song is Cherie's favorite song, it's also a sign of the end of the show.
Shout out Take Never Lies. Shout out, I know you hear me, baby. Shout out, I know you
see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam. Like
the network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this part, signal show is at its end. But for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Claudio, Shayne getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say they get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal.
Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real. Spencer Strong.
To take over the North and never give it back.
Then let me do what I hired to do.
Crying a lot, I can't find the hole.
You gotta find the hole. Jason McKie found the hole, clearing the path for Thomas Jones, Cedric Benson. Just a tremendous guest tonight. Shayne's working on getting that beat behind her. Or should we bring back Cherie's song, Feeding the Ducks? We got it. I was gonna give you a little more ball whisper. Let's start it off with Claudio the Barber. He's up in the right corner.
Let's do this.
Yes,
so pre-chat, of course, we had like 20-some people. So I think I'm going to start doing this, shouting out the first person in pre-chat. This week, it was Clint Wilson. So shout out to you. I think you're still listening. I saw you in the chat.
Drink one of Claudio's Coke Zero, Shayne, to Wednesday.
Peter Statura, it's his birthday today. He's spending it watching it.
Peter, happy birthday. Shayne, you say you could sing. You want to give Peter a little birthday song?
Oh, shit.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. I'm still waiting. We got to...
I think Peter's a dick. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Jesus.
Poor Peter. Peter's here early for the show. Happy birthday, Peter.
Yeah.
I'm just joking with Shayne. We are. This is the off season, Claudio, that Shayne is going to rap. Where is Cool Kennedy?
Oh, right.
I'll do it.
We got to get it because we had so much going on last off season.
You going to beatbox? He's going to rap?
No, we're going to get him a beat. We're not going beatbox.
Oh, okay.
We got to get Shayne Marsaw. We need the Money Marsaw song.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a fucking shirt.
We got to get a shirt, Aceveda. Give me some fucking name shirt. How is that not a graphic? Corey Kennedy.
I don't know.
Give me some fucking names with the smartest man. Cherie, like an abstract of Shayne's shadow. I'm kind of seeing it, right? Give me some fucking names across. I love it. TTNL. Give me some fucking names.
There you go.
Well, I'll give you some more names. Ready?
Yes. Give me some fucking names.
Corey Franklin. Chino Gandhi from India.
Yeah. Chino's he's been checking in every week.
Chino,
That's dope.
F11, Shy Native 72, and Hall's Balls 34, who is also a Russ Grossman fan. So
Hall's Balls, he loved Cherie's Reed. I can tell you that.
Give me some fucking names.
Yes, that needs to be a T-shirt for God's sake. As well as this,
get in somebody's ass today.
Cars needs a T-shirt. Bears nerd with glasses. Come on, I'm giving everything. Let's go. Wait till fucking Shayne rips into Acevedo tomorrow.
Given the opportunity to do a more expansive search, would you have done it?
I was given the opportunity. I found him.
There you go. He found him. Claudio, any others?
No, I'm good. Let's get out of here early.
Everything's good with the family. You're good.
Yeah, no, of course, shout out to my girls and all that, and my little one, but that's it.
Claudio the Barber. Follow him at TTNL Barber. Have you talked to Funk?
I have not. I have texted him. He's a busy man. He's a busy man. I have not.
The cold shoulder?
I'm working on Buckus, though. I'm working on Dick Buckus.
I think Shayne said Buckus has shut down the pod tour, the TV tour.
Yeah, he's got his own coming out. He said he's going to take a little break from accepting, invites. He did announce that, but
speaking of next guest, next week, guys, let's tell them who we got on next week, Shayne.
Is that Dion Miller next week?
No.
The breaking news.
Breaking news drop, Shayne.
Where's the breaking news drop? Where is this? It's all the way up here.
Top, right here.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
Ryan and Matt are men of character.
It's not him, but somebody who actually holds him accountable. Mark Potash, Potsy, will be coming on the show, Keeping It 100 next week to talk Chicago Bears, Eberflus, and everything. The guy that asks the tough question, he'll be on the show next Wednesday. So hopefully you 400 and some 485 tonight, come back, watch the show live. I think he'll be a great guest. I'm excited to actually talk to him. I'm going to let Shayne ask all the questions.
Yeah, that'll fucking happen.
That'll happen. Hey, I apologize. I don't even know that I'm doing it.
Sometimes you just blank out for 36 minutes. It's
yeah,
cool.
It kind of happens to me. I have had a lot of injuries in my head.
Oh.
I got to see this guy this weekend, him and his beautiful family, but
yeah,
I'll save that for my shout outs.
We didn't get any pics or anything from this weekend.
Yeah, we did. I
posted them.
I posted a whole thing
on Facebook.
On my Instagram.
Oh.
Okay. And it goes to Facebook. We had a big group photo. Thanks for following me on Instagram, Sheree. At Phil_Toshin on Instagram.
She's blocking everybody. She's probably blocking. She's blocking everybody
me.
else.
Blocked the lady.
Trying to figure out.
Thunder.
Does anybody know where Thunder Girl was watching from? Facebook?
I think she was on YouTube.
Not anymore. Sheree.
Oh my God!
She is blocking everybody. Might need you a center.
Girl, DM me and tell me where you were watching from.
I think I got
the StreamYard portion of it taken care of.
Shayne is the smartest. He probably was researching that the whole time, Thunder Girl. So as much as Shayne gets a bad rap,
yeah,
he thought how much empathy he was looking up how to get Thunder Girls.
I was.
Because I agree. I saw you. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Even during Sheree's nut read, clean nut read, I was looking.
That's what's gonna be
one of my favorite ones.
It's gotta be called the nut read.
Yeah.
Well, that's
clean ball bag.
Manscaped read. But behind stage, it's called Who's Doing the Nut Read Tonight? Is it Mr. Rogers? Is it our barber? Is it our beautiful single guys?
The queen
of TTNL, Sheree. All right, Jackal, do you have some shout outs this week?
Yeah, first, I'm going to try to do this here, but first, Logan, I think this is appropriate here. TTNL, praying for Cam. He had surgery this morning. Thoughts and prayers are with you, brother. Completely agree.
Absolutely.
So, prayers to you, Logan. To Cam, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna just shout out my family. My my family's life existence almost changed forever on Friday. My 7-year-old son, Conrad, was hit by a car in Hartford.
Oh my God.
And it was probably the scariest moment of my entire life. It was something that I hope I'd never have to relive, experience for anyone else. But my wife and I and 4-year-old son were there when it happened. So it was a pretty fucked up situation. Needless to say, by the grace of fucking God, and I hate to curse while I say that, but he was hit by one car into another car and survived with only a concussion and some pretty bad scrapes to his face, but did not break a single bone. And I'm telling you, this kid did 2.5 flips in the air, and his shoes were 50 feet up the street. So it was like a pretty big fucking deal. We were walking in the crosswalk, but I can't get into the rest of it. But I just want to shout out my little man, Conrad. He's probably stronger than me. As I know, God. Shayne and Phil, Claudio, and, Shuri, we've all gone through many things over the last year. I thought 2022 was going to be a better one. But I will say, I can actually say we dodged a major bullet. My wife and I are extremely thankful and grateful for what transpired with respects to the support we've gotten. What better way to talk about it than go on the fucking internet and tell you guys, because like 15 people really only know. But Conrad's doing okay. He actually got to go to school for 2 hours today and spend some time with some of his friends, and but he's got some recovery ahead of him. Just prayers up for my little man Conrad, and Dad loves you, and he's upstairs literally like 10 feet above me sleeping with his mom. So I just can't wait to go give him a hug, and just sending you never know what someone's going through. I always say that, so just reach out to someone, please, and tell them you're thinking about them, because you just don't know. So just thanks for listening to me, guys. It actually felt good to say that, so thank you.
Well, we love you, Jackal. That's why I said what I said, and you were in the back of my mind, because when you get a phone call like that, in TTNL full disclosure here, you look at your wife. My wife loves Chris. She busts his balls about not doing the fucking back split.
Yeah, don't do shit.
But
I was just saying the whole time, I'm like, man, this motherfucker really doesn't want to come see me.
You motherfucker. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
But to hear Chris tell me the story when it,
oh man,
I can't even imagine.
I had to look at my phone like 3 times, because Riley and I were at a game. Mila and Emmy were back in the hotel room, and then I had my phone on silent because I didn't want to wake baby up. And then I just reached up and grabbed my phone, and Phil had texted me, and I'm like, what? I just felt like I was in fucking Bizarro world. I'm like, that I didn't read that right. And then I reread it, and I texted Phil back immediately, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Unbelievable.
I said, each and every one of us, one by one has had these crazy tragic events. And Jackal, I mean, holy shit, bro. Like I said, I was thinking about you guys the whole weekend, and I mean, I exchanged some, hey, look at Bears Thunder Girl is on Facebook, so sure, keep your hands off the keyboard.
Don't block her, please.
But I just want to thank you guys, man. TTNL family support. It's a beautiful thing, man. And I just, it felt good to talk fantasy football last night just to get my mind off it. And I couldn't wait to just sit down and listen to you guys chop it up with the Bears and do my thing in the background. So I just want to thank you guys also for being there.
You guys had 13 people in the chat supporting me last night during your show.
Still more than Braggs' show, so I don't give a
fuck. They had 251 views this morning, Shayne.
Nice. I
got that on 6 videos.
I was impressed. The One Up Fantasy podcast with Chris Jackal.
Head over to Shy City on YouTube and subscribe there.
Yeah, get over to Shy City on YouTube. Subscribe.
Everybody should go over to Shy City YouTube.
Give them a subscribe.
And because we have a meeting with them tomorrow night, and they'll be like,
"Fuck
holy
those
shit,
guys!"
We got crazy subscription numbers last night. What was going on?
Yeah, do that. Subscribe right now over there on the Shy City YouTube channel. Show TTNL heads, show them some love.
Appreciate the support, people in the chat.
But
Thank you.
seriously, I joke around talking about Jackal not doing shit. But in all honesty, even with Jackal in the background documenting chapters, or however it's termed in YouTube, tabs or whatever, just even that little bit is something so important to me and Shayne and our fans. Like, we're always thinking, like, should we open up this money chat, whatever, super chat, where somebody can throw a tip towards the show to help us, make it even better, get better equipment, so Claudio actually sounds clearer.
Can fix that computer.
Kind of stuff. Fix my dad's computer. All this stuff. Cherie's video wasn't working. Barely see no fucking graphic.
We don't need your dad live on there saying, "Hey, Phil just bought me this hole." Found it.
So yeah, we're always trying to think of things. Always try to bring that reaction that you got from J Mac as well as Beardown, cuz we put the time, effort, and it goes a long way. Chris is a big part of that.
Oh yeah.
Effort, and that's where we want to go. We're looking right now, to be totally transparent, to find someone that pulls highlights of the show and giving that role to somebody that said, you know what, this was
Somebody
a really
hopefully testing it out tonight.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Well, we'll see. I'm looking for some. I think that's important for Instagram and these other social medias, that we have these moments on these shows that are so pertinent, that are so used by other people, and they write their stories when it was said here, or we have a great guest or a mic drop moment like J Mac talking about accountability and leadership. That stuff, I think people really need to know. Yes, we bust balls. Yes, we break balls. But Jackal and everybody on the crew, for Ron G, right before the fucking show, I'm sitting down with Ron G to get that background for tonight. That I wanted to see the new era Chicago Bears background. Where is it? I don't know where it went.
I'll add Phil to the timestamp and stuff.
Cherie deleted it.
She did.
Right here, the background tonight. Keeping It over there. New era. Ron G's jumping on 10 minutes before the show to do that. That kind of stuff matters. Jackal having to deal with his son and go through that, but have this outlet. Stuff's important. But anyway, you do a lot of stuff, and you're great with the fans in the chat, and I know a lot of people wanted you to replace Claudio.
Nah, I don't have that energy. I get reminded that in YouTube comments all the time.
Actually, everybody wants a Claudio and Jackal fantasy show. They're like, let's get that show.
You must have been at the top of your fucking class.
I will. You should
call
see
it the top of the class, right?
Now, much more detailed, Phil. Just so the last two episodes that we shows, they've been really kind of dialed down for each guest. So like specific cut topics and everything. I've really tried to highlight that for you guys to make sure it's not just nice. There's like 17 chapters in one little interview now. So it's kind of nice. You'll see that.
Really doing a lot of that stuff to make it easier for you, who complained about the open being too long.
Of course.
There you go. Now Jackal's taking care of that. Anyway, I love you, Jackal. I'm so glad Conrad is okay. I can't even imagine the thing that got me the most is you telling me about the shoes.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people get hit by a car, and when their shoes fall, it's like there's broken bones.
Dude, I mean, I'll just say he had the wherewithal to see the car.
Jeez. And with that, Jackal bounced.
Sure, he blocked him.
Nobody likes brags.
He's like, enough about your kid, Jackal. Fuck out of
here. Cherie totally blocked.
Cherie dropped the fucking hammer.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, Cherie, what the fuck?
It's fine time.
Did you hear what she said?
Oh my
She's so rude.
Enough with your Shayne.
So fuck yourself.
Perfect timing, Cherie. That was great.
Cherie, you got a shout out tonight.
I don't even want to say nothing. No. No.
That's Shayne making me laugh.
In all seriousness, I do thank you guys and appreciate you guys. And Jackal, I am so sorry about that. This is my first time hearing it, so I'm sorry. Conrad will be in my prayers to you, your wife, and the other two little ones.
Yeah,
so,
me too. I didn't know either, Jackal, man.
See, I don't gossip, Jack. I keep.
I mean, hey, I wouldn't have any
Shayne.
positivity coming his way is a good thing. It's hard to get out in words at times. So but it was cathartic to come out here. I started sweating my ass off just thinking about it as we got approached to 11:30. I'm like, oh fuck. So but I appreciate it, Cherie and Claudio, and obviously Phil and Shayne. Thank you.
Well, I had to tell Shayne because we were
Well,
expecting you to come to Springfield,
I know,
meet up with us. So I think this took precedence, obviously. And yes, TikTok highlight, TikTok, whatever. I was trying to recruit my daughter
Shayne to do some dance challenges.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
TTNL has TikTok.
We have a TikTok, we just don't use it. We need you want to do this. You got to be
promo
committed.
every week. Yeah, it's a promo every week for the thumbnail is up there with the keeping it 100 thing. But yeah.
All right, guys, it's baby time. Have a good night. Anthony Mendez, congratulations on the baby, Anthony. There you
I read
go.
that wrong. I think it meant baby making time.
Now is that the now Logan is blocked?
Is he?
Did I do?
Cherie.
Oh my God.
That wasn't me.
We're setting records tonight.
Cherie.
Oh my
The
God.
fucking executioner over here.
Oh my God.
Better than Teven
You're
Jenkins.
never getting a ticket again.
Them bots are moving so fast. When I hit block, I guess I'm hitting two people. I'm sorry, Logan.
Logan, I'm gonna have to go through 713 different fucking names to find the real one.
Oh my
Under
God.
my
Okay,
brother's
anybody
Facebook account, but it's on his OnlyFans. And give me some fucking names. Give this kid 2 fucking games. Give me some fucking names. Cherie dropping the fucking.
We don't want to do TikTok, Don. To be clear, we want someone to take highlights of the show and share them on TikTok. That's what we're looking for. Just be clear. That's what we're looking
Cherie's
for.
got her hands in
Cherie's
the screen
block. Tick block. she's on tick block.
I'm not blocking. I don't care if it's bots or anything. I'm not touching the block button anymore.
Oh my God. Who's worse? Steven Johnson for ending the broadcast?
That's still worse. At least we're still in the air.
I agree. I gotta side with you there. What does Cars think?
In somebody's ass today.
Okay. Where's Cars tonight? Night off?
Yeah, he sent me. No, he had
Tesla show. Where's he at?
Let me pull up the.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
I hope
if
there's
you got the right people. I hope that is hope.
If you got the right people, that's the key. We all have hope right now.
They're having some weather issues, and his wife was stuck at work, and they had some issues at home. So I just told him it's probably a good night not to show up because Cherie's fucking kicking everybody in the dick.
Nerd alert!
The block bitch. That's
I apologize, Logan and Thunder Girl. It was
Better
not
be
intentional.
careful. Cherie might block you. Cherie might block you.
Oh,
what do you think?
Cherie just blocked Spencer Strong.
Nope.
Thank you, Cherie.
Oh my
These
God.
damn kids.
These damn kids.
Oh, this is Claudio the Barber. Yo, this
The second yo.
I mean, between
Oh,
y'all, all
nice.
of y'all do got a lot of
The
fucking
block
kids,
bitch. We do it, yo.
Yo.
What was your favorite part of the show, Jackal, tonight?
Yeah, look at this. We don't know who you are, Facebook. You're probably safe.
It's one of the PFF guys.
These guys will tell you the best abilities is availability.
Cherie's
Shayne,
Manscaped
you
read.
got some shout out. Cherie's Manscaped read.
I'm gonna shout out Cherie, so she
Yes.
fucking slaughtered
Don't-
me. But
You don't want to get blocked.
we got Cherie's new intro song for when she enters the room. No shit, Cherie.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, Cherie. Really? You
They
really?
did it on purpose. I did not touch it.
Everybody's on eggshells now, Rick.
Just gonna start blocking people.
Man,
in the chat.
that was cold.
How did Shy City Sports just get blocked?
Oh my god.
Sure, just block everyone in the chat right now. Just
I'm not touching anything.
Hold on, my dad's trying to
Phil, could you hear me? This is your dad speaking.
I can't hear you, Cherie.
I'm in
blocked.
space.
Cherie blocked.
I'm in space.
I'm in space. I should have played it to I'm in space.
We love
Shayne,
you.
you got a shout out.
Yeah, shout out you, Phil, your family. Glad to see you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't long enough, but like I said, at least we got to sit down,
Steph
share a
got
meal,
some baby
chill.
time, man. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
Oh, she sure did. She sure did. It was kind of nice. Steph took over baby duties there for a few hours and calmed Emmy down, so that was very nice. Phil and I got out on the basketball court a little bit. I think Phil went 1 for 37 from 3.
I did. I'm like, Shayne, I can't hit a fucking shot.
Come
I
on.
got to end on one. I hit one early. I got one, and then I just kept missing.
You got to end on a make.
I ended on a. Shayne actually was my advisor. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
end
got
it
it.
there.
And then he took his kids to Subway to get a drink, and he blocked Devin from getting icy.
I did. I'm like, how much are the ices? He's like $4.98. I go, okay, can we get root beers? $4.98. Like, what the fuck? $4.98
No,
for a night.
it was nice to get away, Jackal. Sorry, I mean, obviously, with what you had going on, totally understandable, but still nice to get away with the fam for a couple of days. We're taking off.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
Don't block Zorich.
Keep your hands up in the air, Cherie.
Not a lot of people did block Zorich when they were playing.
A
So
lot of people had a tough time.
they had a tough time blocking him. So I don't know if you can block.
Our boy Chris Zorich
Oh,
is
look
worried
at
about getting blocked.
Guess what? I'm gonna block some. Hey, Buki, guess what?
Cherie, just block
Midwit.
it.
Wait, you got
I'm
it.
gonna do. Yeah,
He's got to explain what a midwit is. What the fuck's a midwit?
He's
my
just
God.
mad because his mom's a cunt. Oh!
Always go to the
That's
moms.
rude.
Always.
It
Never
makes me
fails.
uncomfortable.
Actually, nobody goes to Buki's mom. That bitch is played out and fucking nasty.
Oh shit.
She doesn't manscape, but she should. Buki, go get your mama, bitch.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Okay.
If his mother was in a crosswalk, I'd run over her twice. That's how ugly.
Oh my gosh. Fucking savage.
I'll back up. Make sure I did the fucking job.
Jackal. Poor Conrad. Jesus. Oh, Cherie cannot. No one could block Chris Zorich.
No.
There's a good segue out of there. Fuck Mookie.
Nuked him, Shayne. Jesus.
Jeez.
Nothing
So
left.
Zorich came in with Notre Dame and Catholics and all that, and I took it to a whole nother level. Zorich got me
Chris
fired
is
up.
quiet now.
Who the fuck are those guys?
He just logged off. He's like, fuck.
No one's talking about my mom.
But anyways,
oh
yeah.
my god. Yeah, we had a lot of fun, Shayne.
Yeah, Buki's a dick. He's one of the guys that comes in the comments. But see, Zorich knows. Oh.
Chris knows. Chris knows. Chris was saying the same shit.
Yeah,
Who fucking
Zorich knows Buki's mom's a cunt.
Who comes in here trolling? Like
Bookie does.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
All I know is like just go.
Yeah.
Like just pass by. Like I've never gone to someone's shitty show and said, "Let me write a shitty comment there." I just don't. I just ignore it. But
He's sitting in his trailer, just pissed off that we're talking about football.
I'm sure he blocked his ass.
Will.
I'm sure she did. I don't think. Oh, block his mom too. I don't think anyone's blocking her either.
So yeah, you know.
Anyway,
those are my shout outs.
Shout out Bookie's mom for putting up with Bookie.
Yeah, what time you want the bitch back? Time you want the bitch back, Bookie?
Oh my god.
Ridden hard, put away wet.
Oh my god. Every night, every Wednesday night, we keep it 100 here on the Tape Never Lies Network. Tonight, just like every Wednesday night, we never have a script. We don't even know what's going to transpire. I came away really loving Mike at Beardown Cuz. Follow him on Instagram. Good dude. Had a lot of fun talking Bears with him. And you know, I keep it 100 as Shayne will too. When we don't agree, we don't agree. We debate, but we do it professionally. We'll always do that unless
obviously
you come in here with Bookie's
eviscerate Bookie's mom. That was very professional.
Next week, Wednesday, we have Mark Potash jumping on the show from the Chicago Sun-Times. Mark always gives the tough questions, not the softball. On BHL, we'll tell him he's our favorite because he's going to bring that heat. We'll just ask, why didn't you ask about the why? That would be the only thing. At the very end, hey, Matt, did you ever find the why? Now get the fuck out of here. But anyway, we'll have a lot of fun next Wednesday. Obviously, I've told you earlier. I'll tell you again before Cherie blocks you. The Tape Never Lies patron. Become a patron, sign up. X's with the O's. We're going to break down Akeem Hicks this Saturday, me and my dad. I might ask Zorich, since you're in the chat, to jump on that show Saturday and break down the big defensive lineman. Will he fit in the 4-3? Is he someone you want to re-sign? Is he that guy that wears the C on his chest for Eberflus and Alan Williams? We're going to break it down. Show you the good and the bad of Akeem Hicks. Did he have some loafs? All that stuff. So sign up. And then on Sunday, it's Draft Mob. We got some interviews lined up with some players this offseason that are being in the draft. We're going to be breaking down all of the draft from a Bears perspective. Who are the fits? Who are the 3 techniques? Is the wide receiver the number one thing? All of that stuff. We're going to be breaking down. So become a member of the patron channel. It's the tapeneverlies.com. But that being said, shouting out all of you guys tonight for your effort and the remarkable friendship that we have. I talked about saying I love somebody, and people say I say that all the time, but I really mean it. I really do. At the end of the day, this network has given me so much of family, like people that I really enjoy hanging out with on a Wednesday night, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, after a game. We're the place everybody wants to go, and that means a lot to me. But in all honesty, when the lights are going down, it's a responsibility for me and Shayne at the same time. We take it very seriously, and we have a lot of fun in the serious process of that. Just like Chris Zorich. I love that guy. I mean, Chris has been in my corner with things that I've had to deal with in my life. This was a guy I looked up to, and I was shouting him out tonight, not because he was in the show, but somebody I looked up to as a player. Now he's become a friend because of this network, because of people like Claudio and Cherie and Ron G and Caden Whitlow that are doing all the legwork. Alex Acevedo, if he didn't send that email to Zorich, all those little butterfly effects of this network. And you, the fan, that have gone the extra mile. Bullets, reaching out to Potash to set that up. Those things mean a lot to me. You fans that do that little extra, like Corey Kennedy in the midst of the show, putting fullbacks matter to us. All that stuff matters to me. I'll shout all of you guys out. Obviously, at Beardown Cuz, I want to shout him out. Coach Jason McKie. Yes, I was in my glory there tonight because I just looking at a head.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
Thunder Girl and
I knew
Logan
it.
Frost are back. And Bookie's mom is still a stinky bitch, but you know.
We were able to get him back.
I was
Glad
waiting for it.
Logan and Thunder Girl are back. Shout out Logan.
Better
Those
block
hands
them
up,
when they come
Sheree.
back on. Block them when they come back.
I want to shout out my boy, Chris. How do we say? Look at him rocking the swag. I'm trying to get his last name correctly here. So, Chris Ross. Chris D.
That was
Ross.
a tough one.
Well, his first name.
4 letters.
His first name messed me up on the Instagram side.
That double S on the end always throws you.
Chris Ross, shouting you out, rocking that swag. If you're rocking the swag, send me a pic. I gotta get everybody on that does that. I don't do that enough. I do drop the ball there, or Jackal or Claudio does. Whoever. We gotta make sure we get Alex Acevedo. Is he doing shit, Shayne? Has he been doing shit? We got a big meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ace, our production.
Better not have those fucking pirate curtains up.
We need a block bitch t-shirt. That
Cherie block bitch. That's the best. Yeah.
Cherie like this. Like Matumbo.
Hashtag
When he used to go like this.
Your kid had a bad day?
There it is. Cherie. Don't be.
I know how to tackle? No.
There's a tackle bitch.
But I know how to block a motherfucker.
We definitely are doing a block bitch shirt.
We definitely. Corey Kennedy's working on it as we speak. But anyway, wanted to shout, obviously, everybody out. Chris Zor, Eric Kramer, I wanted to shout him out. Everybody that I've dealt with a lot of stuff the past, just like everybody. Everybody's dealing with stuff. So there's no competition of who's dealing with the most. But if we had one, TTNL, the umbrella of that, it would be up there. From Claudio to Shayne, Jackal, myself, Cherie, Zorich, everybody on this network dealing with stuff. George, Barlissimo, everybody. So when we say it, we mean it. TTNL's family. I love you guys. Honestly, you fans, honestly, make this so much fun. Every Wednesday night, every Wednesday leading up to it, when I'm producing an intro or something, Shayne will send me the script and I send it to Lawrence. Then Lawrence sends it back. Then I get it. I put it to music. Then I got to put video to it. And then it's done on a Wednesday. And then you're like, okay, I hope this guest really appreciates the work, the teamwork that we all put into this, because we want to be the best. If you want to do it, you got to work at it. So we're holding everybody accountable, including Bookie's mom. Everybody's got to be accountable. Cherie, keep blocking.
Everybody's
Keep blocking. Jackal we've learned, Shayne, has no whisper skills. None.
No.
He's that guy in the movie theater.
You just kept on saying,
balls.
He's like, that was Phil, dude. What the fuck?
I was saying balls on a whisper. Wait, you watch it back. Your whisper voice sucks.
I'm still fixated on the block bitch shirt. I think that's going to be a big seller.
It's gotta be a big seller. Shayne, the shirt's almost done. Well, Shayne's got to approve it, and we need a Shayne shirt. I talk
Shayne, I get
anyway.
to ask a question, Marsaw.
Can only imagine the smells coming out of that thing, but
There you go. That's what you get for running your mouth on that. Anyway, stats are for losers.
You know how I feel about stats. Really, stats are for losers. Final scores for winners.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
Take it all away. Smoke weed. We'll be back next week. Always keep it 100. There's no need for bold predictions. There's no need for any of that stuff. We go out like this. I love you guys. Great show tonight. Keeping it 100. Smash the like button. If you're not a subscriber, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you really need to hit the subscribe button. Let's get over 13,000 and move it up to 25,000. That's my goal for 2022. It's 25,000 subscribers. Let's make that happen. I'm setting that flag in the sand right there. Real quick. David Montgomery, because a lot of these blog boys, these fucking stat trolls, you'll see the fucking blog boys talking about this.
Blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, false manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, take it to the level that most never thought of. This crazy world, people treat a keyboard like a sword off. Narrative crusher, so many demons I don't fought off. Take never lies, blog boys get fucking caught. PFS with the fishes, but they still gonna troll. Putting Warrants on top, make them look like an asshole. Nagy calling plays, but no clue on personnel. Running toss the CP, short side behind Leno. These dudes on that block like J-Lo. Montgomery is elite,
cuz DDP says so.
Front office nightmare like the haunted of Hill House. Black boys get to step in and take your boy Millhouse. Black boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah, black boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah.
Word. Blog boys changing stats like report cards. No PFF, straight F's on no scorecard. You gotta have heart to play. A little soul like Marvin Gaye goes a long way. Throw the strong fade at an out route. Power, I see the end zone. I hope Maggie takes a smart route and gives a play calls like McCaskey money. Blog boys and haters talking, but they stats is funny. The kid never lies. Think it's when you get smacked with honey and get swept like the tight end on 4th and 1 tries. We big time, you small fries, Twitter fingers typing for the clout. They never trend, they all cry.
Blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, fraud manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, blog boys and haters, trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, come on, haters, feeling that cool Kennedy. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, block boys, block boy. Trolls on Twitter, snap manipulators. Oh yeah, block boy, and haters. Block boy, TTNL Twitter, snap manipulators. Block boys. Blog boys get fucking caught off.
Oh, what a show. Are we still live? We're still
still
live.
live.
We're still live.
Peace.
Ree's blocking the end broadcast button. Bye now.
Block